Good evening, everyone. It's Glen Kellaway coming to you from the basement. If I sound a little sniffly, I am dying of a terrible cold. So we're going to try and carry on for a couple hours, 8 to 10, waiting for my co-hosts to join me. This is our first official live chat with a set time and day every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. No one's watching yet, but I guess this is for the benefit of the people that are going to watch the replay. So, yeah. Oh, here's Sam. He's ready right here. We got him. Hey, buddy.
Happy Tuesday.
No one's watching us yet.
Oh, well, then we can, get
Yeah.
naked.
Yeah, we can just talk about our sex lives and stuff.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that'll only take about 3 more seconds, and then we can move on.
Then we can move on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How goes it? How's your week been? Are you feeling better?
Oh, I feel like crap, actually.
Oh, still?
Hell, man, I'm on it now. I'm on antibiotics and a puffer, and it's insane. Now, and Lynn got it today. She woke up last night. She kind of got it in the night.
Did they say what it is?
It's just some kind of a cold and respiratory thing that's going around.
Oh, man.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Zach is our first official. Well, there's 8 people watching. Zach, congratulations. You're the first official commenter on the season premiere of the Sammon, Glenfunkel, and Rob show.
Cosmic Conversations.
Cosmic Conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says there's 8 people watching now. So I guess we're waiting for Rob to put his son to bed. That's usually what happens. He'll be a couple of minutes. And I just wanted to, I was kind of saying when I first came on a minute early that we are great Zappa Cap. Thank you. We are going to do this every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Hopefully it's going to go 8 to 10. I don't really want it to go much longer than that. And if we run out of things to say, it might be shorter than that. But
exactly.
The idea is 8 to 10 every Tuesday. Be here 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hey, Christian. One thing, I don't want anybody to be insulted, but I'm going to keep this format between the 3 of us for at least the first few shows, just so we can kind of get our act together and figure out what we want to do, and maybe some segments, and just kind of here's Rob. There he is.
Hey, Rob.
Good evening, gentlemen.
We're here.
How you doing?
The season premiere.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to try. I just trying to explain that we're going to kind of keep it just between 3 of us. I know there's a lot of guys who come up on the comments, and I go, "Hey, come on with us." I'm not going to do that, but don't get insulted. Down the road, we'll share the screen a little bit. But I think tonight what we wanted to do with the sad passing of Christine McVie, we wanted to start the show doing kind of just our thoughts on her, and then we were going to rank our favorite Fleetwood Mac songs in the Christine McVie era of the band.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was no simple task.
No, it wasn't. I said let's do 10, and then I emailed saying can we stretch it to 12?
The problem I had is my 12 had 30 songs in it, so I had to pare it down a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I was the same.
I think I've redone my list like 5 times.
Yeah, I up until 5 minutes before I came on, I was switching things around.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, and surprisingly, and I didn't do this because Christine passed, I've got a few of her songs in my top 12.
Yeah, I do too.
I think I do.
But I'm not as big of a Fleetwood Mac fan as you guys are, so I'm probably going to be a little bit more standard. But
yeah, well, mine too. I'm not like, I wouldn't call myself like I don't have a complete catalog of Fleetwood Mac albums or anything. I think Rumors is one of the greatest albums of all time, and I do like their other music. So I would consider myself more of a casual fan compared to Rob, who I think is a huge fan.
See, for me, Fleetwood, I mean, I love Fleetwood Mac, but for me, there's an extra something in there. And I've talked about it before. My dad was, until my son, the biggest person in my life. And he passed away unexpectedly about 13 years ago. And he loved Fleetwood Mac. It was his favorite band.
Wow.
And that's how I got into Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
And the one and only concert that my dad and I ever went to was Fleetwood Mac.
Oh.
And so it's got a lot of sentimental
absolutely value to me. Yeah.
What era did you see?
So when they put out well, the album was Say You Will, the one that doesn't have Christine, the last
okay. Is that the
full
tour?
studio album.
She quit the band by that time.
Yeah. Before she quit, before she came
Like
back.
2005, 2006.
Yeah. So when they were back together minus Christine, and Peacekeeper was the big single off that record. I remember my dad and I were driving somewhere, and I had tickets, and I hadn't told them yet. And Peacekeeper came on the radio, and they were talking about either giving away tickets or whatever. And I said to my dad, "Wouldn't it be great to go see them?" He goes, "Oh my God, that would just be the best." And I said, "Great," because I got us tickets, and he was just blown away. And we went.
That's awesome.
It had a blast, and it was.
Wow.
I mean, he's such a huge music fan, and he's the reason I'm a vinyl collector, and I have his Fleetwood Mac albums. And that
You
was
guys
the
are
only time
so
him
lucky
and I
you
ever
grew
went
up
to a show.
in an era where your parents are of that generation that appreciated that music. I would have had to go see Johnny Mathis with my dad, I think.
Yeah.
Johnny Mathis, who's still alive and touring.
Yeah.
I've got a funny story, not a Fleetwood Mac, but just kind of a similar story with a surprise. It was 2000 and it was February of 2018, and my mom's birthday is the middle of the month in February, and I was actually living out of town. I was living in Williamsburg, Virginia, for about 4 weeks for an internship, and she came to visit, and I had bought Paul Simon tickets for the Homeward Bound tour, and it was her birthday, and I was like, all right, I've got my guitar. I said, I'm going to tell you what your birthday present is, but you've got to guess what it is. And so I knew, I picked a few Paul Simon songs that I knew she wouldn't get just based on me strumming it or like picking it. And so I'd be like, I said, what song is this? It's like I would play like a deeper Paul Simon cut, like April Come She Will, like a song that my mom wouldn't know necessarily. And then I would play another song, and she's like, I don't know, that sounds so familiar. I was like, yeah. Well, I said, well, what about this? And I played it, and she still didn't know. And I was like, all right, what about this? And I started playing Me and Julio, and she's like, Paul Simon, and like, yeah, we're gonna go see Paul Simon. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
I just want to say hello to everyone before we get rocking on the Fleetwood Mac thing here. So, Zach, guys, looking forward to Tuesday night. Zach is our wins the prize for our first commenter of our season premiere, official season.
There you go.
You won't be winning any.
We look forward to it too, Zach.
Well, can you leave us your address, Zach? So we'll know not where to send something, because we're not really sending anything.
He probably doesn't want to because of his current record in fantasy football.
Yeah, true.
Zach's at the bottom there.
MPM Turnitz. What's that? How did he say that?
MPM Turnst. I don't know.
No idea.
I know, but thanks for the Zappa hat.
Christian.
Good evening. It's Christian. We love Christian.
What the hell am I, Christian? Chopped liver?
You got to work your way up, Rob.
I guess.
Greetings from the land of Kraken. There, I would say, is a man from Seattle.
I think so.
Martin.
Evening, Martin. It's back to Zach. Love Fleetwood Mac. Christine's passing was a gut wrencher.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially given some
in that group.
Some of the interviews she was given in the last couple of years where, she wasn't sure if the band was going to get back together and that sort of thing, especially with Lindsay being booted.
Alex, thank you so much.
Hey, Alex.
I finally cut one of the streams. Glenn, hope you feel better than you sound, buddy. No, I'll make it. The antibiotics are kicking in.
Hey, Jason.
Nice guitars, Rob.
Thanks, Jason.
Well, I have Jason on today. I when I was a little kid, up until I'm going to say in my early 20s, I was a huge professional wrestling fan. My uncle used to take me to Maple Leaf Gardens to wrestling every Sunday, and I saw all the greats, right back to Gorgeous George. If you don't know who he is, look him up. And anyway, so I kind of got out of it for many years, and now that my daughter and son-in-law are in the business, I watch it faithfully every week and getting right back into it. And Jason, the old millennial, hosted a live chat this afternoon with two of his buddies, their 10 favorite pro wrestlers. So I just want to tell everybody, go to Jason's channel and watch it if you're a wrestling fan, because I really, really enjoyed it. Great job, Jason.
And I'm going to go ahead and plug while I have some people on here, if you don't mind, Glenn. I've got a contest going until
I was going to let you do that.
Yeah, until January 2nd. I've got 5 prompts, a few videos down on my channel. Please jump on it. gotten a lot of traction, a lot more traction than I thought it was.
I was going to mention
I
I
was
wanted
gonna
to
say,
put
there's
something I
been
have
a
on my
lot of
list to talk
entries.
about, but you're getting some heavyweights, man, giving you some
I got
love in there.
a rare Joe Mayo entry.
I couldn't believe that.
I told him, I said, Joe, I'm very excited that you joined on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
And then little guys like Larry Graves, if you've heard of him.
Yeah, who's that?
The nobodies, in the in the YouTube world.
Yeah, see, Martin, 70s, the Love Brothers, yes. Reginald and Dwight, the Love Brothers.
That's funny.
Well, thanks, Glenn. That's awesome. So anyway, enough of that. Let's Rob, what do you want to say about Christine? You're probably the best one here today.
I mean, Fleetwood Mac's an interesting. They're not a band. They're a musical collective, right? It's an ever evolving collection of musicians.
Absolutely.
And it has very, very tangible different periods depending on who was in the band. And I mean, the current lineup as of a week ago before Christine passed away that had Neil Finn and Mike Campbell, there was a lot of people online complaining that if it doesn't have Lindsey Buckingham, it's not Fleetwood Mac. And while he is integral to, probably their most popular period, I mean, for me, Christine is just, she brought something to that band because she was in the band before the Rumors era lineup, in that sort of transitional era between Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac and the Fleetwood Mac.
That she was there for that whole transition. She married John McVie in 1968 and then officially joined the band in 1970.
Right. And I even have some of her stuff when she was with Chicken Shack. And
Chicken Shack. That was a good band, actually.
Yeah, I got a couple Chicken Shack records. Yeah. And I don't know, she just, you don't tend to think of, piano players in a rock band as being as significant as she was. I mean, it's hard to put into words. She wrote some absolutely incredible songs. And I mean, of all the musicians that have passed away, I think for me, this is the one that is the toughest pill to swallow. I mean, being a big Mac fan, and my dad, again, being my big musical influence, he would always, she was his favorite, and he would always be talking about, why she was such a great songwriter. And at the time when I was, 16, 17, getting into music and discovered Rumors for the first time, I didn't play guitar yet, and I didn't know shit about how songs are written. And you tell me the key of something, and I go, what that means, and talking about chord progressions. But now that I have a rudimentary understanding of music, the stuff that she wrote was just incredible. I hope the band continues to go on. I don't know that it will, but man, I've seen Fleetwood Mac twice. I've seen them when I saw them with my dad. She was not with the band.
Yeah.
I saw them on with the show tour when she rejoined the band. My wife and I saw them with the original Rumors lineup, and they were much better with her. So, I mean, that's such a huge loss. I'm still kind of digesting it. I'm not generally affected by the loss of some of these musicians because I don't know them personally. And so but this one, just because of her musical contribution, this is a tough pill for me to swallow.
Yeah. If you're a big fan of somebody like that, like a huge, that you do know them personally, like they're part of your family.
And the other one that really affected me
part of your life, right?
When Tom Petty passed away, that was kind of a tough one too. But
Tom
this
Petty,
one's even
John
bigger
Prine,
for me.
What kind of?
I still think about John Lennon passing like 40 years later. It still bothers me.
Right.
What kind of hit me was I didn't realize that she was so close in age to like McCartney or Brian Wilson, that she was 79 because she was older than John McVie by a couple of years. So that was kind of shocking to me how much older she was.
And what you say about being a collective, I love that. And I know it would always get compared, but you couldn't criticize if John McVie and Mick Fleetwood totally disbanded what they had and just brought in 3 or 4 other members and started a new Fleetwood Mac. They're well within their rights to do that because they've been doing it since 1968.
And here's one of the things that don't get talked about. John and Mick might be one of the greatest rhythm sections in
absolutely.
music. Just incredible.
Can you imagine those two? No, I bet you they could play together. There was always this famous thing. Earl Scruggs, the great banjo player, when he was a kid, his brother and him, they were learning how to play music at the same time, and he was playing a banjo, his brother was playing a guitar, and they'd start on the front step of their house playing the same song, and they would walk around opposite ways of the house till they met in the back of the house to make sure they're still on the same chord and in the same spot. How's that for perfecting timing?
Wow.
But I can see Mick Fleetwood and John McVie in their sleep, just right in time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Awesome. What was I going to look at here? Hold on a second. Oh, mystery to me. It was something else that I saw because someone made a comment here. Oh, here we go. Are you doing the top 12 Fleetwood Mac songs right now? Bing. Here we go.
There's a good segue.
Yes, we are.
So, how do you want to do this? One each, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's do one each. Let's start at 12.
12? Okay.
12. Yeah, we got plenty
Rob,
of time.
you can start.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you're the.
Okay. My first one is kind of a deep cut off of the Forgotten Fleetwood Mac album. Most people don't even know this record. This is called Time.
Never seen it before.
This was the Fleetwood Mac album that came out in 1995. So this was after the Rumors era lineup disbanded before they reunited. So this is Christine and Mick and John, along with Billy Burnett and Becca Bramlett and Dave Mason.
Oh, okay.
It's a one-off lineup of Fleetwood Mac. The band hates this record. It's never going to see the light of day on vinyl. Most people don't even know it exists. It's great. I love it. The lead track on here is called "Talking to My Heart," and it's a Billy Burnett song. It's an up-tempo sort of rock song. And for me, I love it. It's catchy. And here's the reason why I love it. The night that that's going to be tough. The night that my dad died, which was a horrific, unexpected, I won't get into the gory details because they're pretty brutal. I got home, couldn't sleep because of what I had just experienced. So I went downstairs with my wife. We sat in my office, and this was just the first Fleetwood Mac record that I put on. And the song "Talking to My Heart" just it did what it needed to do on the most traumatic moment of my life. So that song always will mean something to me. And I wish, it's not the Fleetwood Mac everyone would expect, but it's a really underrated album.
Wow, that's interesting. I don't know that album at all, and I kind of vaguely remember the Billy Burnett era. I remember reading about it.
It's very interesting, and I love Becca Bramlett as a singer on there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my number 12. It's called "Talking to My Heart."
Sam, number 12.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I'm probably going to be just on the very surface of Fleetwood Mac because, again, I don't know Fleetwood Mac like Rob does. But for me, number 12 is a recent song that's really stuck with me. It's the song "Everywhere."
Oh, yeah.
Great song.
From Tango in the Night. And it's a Christine McVie song, so I'll start it off with Christine on my list. Tango in the Night was kind of like, I guess, like 80s Rumors, because it was the Rumors lineup, and it had a couple of radio hits on it. I think it was their last album with radio hits. And I love the breeziness of the sound of the production on that album. It's very 80s. Again, it's 1987. Yeah, there you go. And not my favorite cover in the world either, but it's just a great. I love the smokiness of Christine McVie's voice. Lindsay and Stevie hitting the harmonies. I want to be everywhere. It's very summery. It's very Christine, and yeah, I mean, I think it's a great song. I think it's recently shown up in a commercial too, which I know a lot of people have caught on the Fleetwood Mac because of commercials like the younger generation. But this is one of those songs that I've liked quite a bit and kind of has been solidified in the last year or so.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, my number 12, I had 12 and 13. I'm going, which one do I leave out? And the song I left out at 13 was Big Love, the Lindsey Buckingham, but I just love the guitar in that song.
Oh, yeah, great.
So anyway, I when I flipped the coin, I said, no, I got to go with Christine McVie. So You Make Love and Fun is my number 12.
Great song.
Again, another pop. She just wrote great pop songs, and they're not wimpy pop songs. They're really intelligent.
She had the most hits.
Quality pop songs that are endearing and long lasting.
I want to say that was my 13 too, Glenn. I think that song was my 13 that I booted.
Yeah, what, Big Love?
No, You Make Love and Fun.
You Make Love and Fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my number 12.
Yep.
Oh, we're back around to me now, eh?
We're back around.
So my number 11 is off of this fantastic live record, The Dance.
Good.
Yeah.
Which came out in 97. If I remember the history right, I think they got together because when Clinton was running for re-election, he picked Don't Stop as their campaign song.
Yep.
And that was what got the band back together. And that ultimately led to The Dance, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Anyway, Christine has a song in here called Temporary One. I love it. It was actually the single off of this record. Just one of her great pop rock songs. Not one a lot of people think of. And while it was a single, I don't think that it charted off of The Dance, but
yeah, well, that's excellent. Yeah. That's such a great album.
Yeah, I'm glad it was finally issued for the first time on vinyl a couple years ago.
Was that a Record Store Day reissue? Or
No, it was just they issued that one and they issued Say You Will, which was the last studio album.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Well, speaking of Say You Will, my number 11 is Christine McVie again with Say You Love Me. Again, one of the big hits. One of the catchiest choruses ever. It's just, when the loving starts and the lights go down, there's not another living soul around. I love her voice with Lindsay's, and actually an album that I need to get is the Buckingham McVie album that came out 5 years ago.
Oh, you know what? It's on my list as one of the most disappointing albums.
So we're going.
I wanted that so bad when it came out, and I bought it, and I went, oh.
It is disappointing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: most people don't know. This is Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Fleetwood Mac without Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Mick and John and Christine.
The songs
and
weren't
Lindsay.
that strong on it or something. There's something.
So I always look at that as the last Fleetwood Mac album, even though it doesn't have Stevie on it.
So I mean, yeah, Say You Love Me, just
great.
Again, a killer Christine song. It was a concert staple, and it's one I always go. It's always one that stuck in my head. It's that chorus.
I love that song, and I had it, but I had to bump it. It didn't even make. When you're a bigger fan, you want to give credit to some of the deeper cuts. I know that's how I am with Petty. Like I would kick Free Falling off of a lot of people's lists. Right.
So,
wow. Okay, so my number 11 is another Christine McVie song too. She's getting a lot of love.
Yeah,
but, I didn't plan it this way for myself, but Over My Head.
Oh, great song.
Yep.
Yeah. You
The
can take
vocals
me to
on that are
just any way you like. Yeah, she said, again, just great lyrics and such a sense of melody, and man, it's just amazing. Underrated, really, as a songwriter.
I should say when I was younger, it was hard for me when I would hear like the Fleetwood Mac songs, like Go Your Own Way. Like I always thought Go Your Own Way was a woman singing, but it's Lindsay.
Oh yeah.
And it was kind of the same with whenever like a Christine song would come on, I'd be like, is that a really is that a man singing? Like, I couldn't tell a lot of times the difference. Little, but just those two voices together, it makes sense why they were such good harmony singers together, the two of them.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Let me stop just for a second and catch up to people here. Rob makes a great point, although John McWorth there earlier, Christine was the most consistent songwriting contributor to that band, and the piano playing is underappreciated. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, she just had a great sense of music. Over and Over is one of my favorite Christine tracks. The opener on Tusk. It might make an appearance later on in the show. Mystery to Me, Bob Welsh era. Still most songs were Christine. I don't have that album.
I think that's one of the few I don't have. I think I'm only missing like 2, 3, maybe.
Hey guys, truly sad to lose Christine. She was my favorite voice of Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, she was something special. I'm a Fleetwood Mac fan, but I really love the Chain. Yeah, Chain's a fantastic song. One of my favorites is Make Love and Fun. Yeah, another great song. I'm sure that's going to show up on a list. I only know the Rumors album, so my top 3 is the Chain, Go Your Own Way, and Dreams. Jason, you got a lot of catching up to do, buddy. If you love the Rumors album, you need to get the one that defeated it.
You need the second self-titled album. That's that and Rumors are like part 1, part 2.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The Dance, that's such a great live album. Really was. They seem to be really enjoying themselves in that show too, right?
Zach's absolutely right. The version of Don't Stop on that with the USC marching band is awesome.
Yeah. Okay, top 10.
All right, number 10. I'm finally pulling out Rumors.
Never heard of it.
I'm going to get a lot of flack from this that I'm rating this so low, and I'm ashamed that I'm rating this so low. And please bear in mind, everyone, my list changed 5 times the last 5 days. Number 10 for me, Songbird. I know it should be way higher. It is a beautiful, beautiful song. One of the most poetic, one of the most poignant, one of the most beautiful songs ever. I love it. It's one of the greatest songs ever written. I have a bunch that I prefer to listen to more, but I love what a masterpiece Songbird is.
That album is so strong. Like a song like Songbird isn't the best song on the album, and it would probably be the best song on most people's albums.
Right.
Because we did the ranking with Rich, and I think Oh Daddy made the bottom for a couple people.
Yeah.
And I mean, that song by itself, I mean, if you were to put that on any other album, like if you were to stick Oh Daddy on one of their albums from the 80s, you'd be like, oh, that's the best song on that album.
Right.
Yeah.
Another Christine song.
Love Fleetwood Mac. Nice chat. Thanks, dude.
It's Mr. Daniels. Number 10. All right. This is maybe controversial just because technically this wasn't a Christine McVie era album. However, she is on this album uncredited, and it's the song "Oh Well."
Yes,
that's the top 2 Fleetwood Mac songs for me, and I didn't include it because
she's on the album uncredited as Christine Perfect.
Okay, that was 68.
Yes, and I mean obviously that's like one of the few Peter Green tracks that made the crossover live to the Rumors era. Really, I know Lindsay would do it. And then actually Mike Campbell did it on that last tour and did it quite well because Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers did that song as well and did a killer. That's actually the first place I heard it was Tom Petty. Just, that classic blues down, just that kind of a cool
that
acoustic opening.
It's on this album.
He stopped singing for a little bit. I can't help it. The shape I'm in. I can't do anything. My legs ain't thin.
Oh yeah, what a killer track!
And it's just a killer blues track. It's dirty in terms of just how it sounds. It's one of those great live tracks. I mean, that song transferred over so well live. And like I said, whether it's Peter Green doing it, whether it was Lindsay doing it, Mike Campbell at the end, like I said, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers did it. It's just an absolute killer blues track.
Yeah.
I hate that it's so low, but I kind of kept it lower.
That would have been battling for number 1 on my list if I would have included it. So.
But it's number 10.
Well, you cheated.
Yeah.
Sam's a cheater.
Yeah, kick me off.
We'll give you a pass for that one.
My number 10 title track from the follow-up to Rumors, Tusk. I don't know what it is about that. It's the drumming, the percussion, and just I don't know.
I had that as my 10 and I changed it.
It's just it's a neat song. I don't even know why. It's weird because it's so untypical.
And it's technically not really that great of a song. Like there's not a lot to it.
But there's something about it that just sticks in your head.
I think it's the percussion in that song, I think.
Yeah. That's a Mick Fleetwood classic.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. And with the USC marching band and that's I think Tusk is a very underrated album. I think because it came out after Rumors, it got panned critically a little bit.
I think it's one of those where it's a little longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, maybe.
I think there is fantastic. Did it need to be a double? There's some filler in there. But I really enjoy the record. It's a great record.
Yeah. Yeah. So number 9.
Number 9. off of Mirage
Mm.
is the song Gypsy.
Oh yeah.
I mean wow. I've seen them live twice, and they played it the second time that I saw them, and I was just blown away, mesmerizing. It was incredible. The vocals on that song, wow, love it.
For me, a song that should have made the album, but didn't, is Silver Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely gut wrenching, knife in the back kind of song that Stevie Nicks wrote for Lindsay. Again,
I have that up much higher in my list.
Okay, well, we'll hear a deeper analysis later. But
I don't know that I have much more to say. But I mean, you've said what is great about that song.
Yeah.
And it's killer, especially when you're seeing it live with her and Lindsay on the same stage. All those that era of those songs of Christine singing with John behind her playing the bass, or Stevie with her actress persona looking over at Lindsay, holding the mic like I wrote this for you, and she can sing it 100 times and it's still
those songs are weapons, and they just
and she sings it at the end, like the way she goes, "Time left it spell," and like you can hear the anger in her voice. She's still bitter. I'll haunt you, and
yeah. So it's one of those songs that, again, it should be on the radio more than it is. It should have been a bigger hit, but I think it's a killer song.
Wow.
Number 9.
Well, my number 9, we can just pass right along because it's Silver Springs. And,
cool.
It could have been higher. I think these top 9 could all be number 1. Like I'm having a hard time putting anything at number 9 or number 8 because so I'm going Silver Springs as well.
What are we at here? Number 8?
Right.
Number 8 for me is the incredibly powerful Rhiannon off of the second self-titled album.
I wasn't even thinking about Rhiannon. Yeah, that's great.
I don't know what it is. That song is just. It's a song about a witch, according to Stevie. Stevie Nicks' voice is. I mean, to hear that in person is something I will never forget. I think she's one of the greatest singers ever.
Oh yeah,
that
she's
song
top 3 or probably top 3, 4 female vocalists for me.
Yeah.
Yep,
so for me, number 8's Rhiannon.
Wow, great pick. It didn't even cross my mind. There's so many great songs.
That's why I said my 12 had 30 songs in it.
Number 8 for me, I believe it's the opener, the second side opener to Rumors. I Don't Want to Know. Absolutely. Again, one of those great 3-part harmony songs. Mostly a Lindsey Buckingham composition, I would say. But just that, I don't want to know the reasons why you love me. Walking on down the line. It's just a great song. I love the acoustic nature. I love the intro, the bow, 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 down, down, and then like the doom with the drum. It's just, again, it's more acoustic based. It's probably why it's in the top 8 here. And a great opener to the second side of Rumors. I absolutely love it.
You know what's funny is every time you guys mention a song, it immediately comes into my head. As soon as you said "I don't want to know," I'm going, "I don't want to know."
Yeah,
It's just the songs are so.
I just changed my list as we're sitting here.
They're so ingrained. I'm going with another. What are we at? Number 8, right? I'm going with. I got 3 Stevie Nicks songs in a row here. Number 8, Gypsy.
Right.
Killer.
You already mentioned Gypsy, right? Off Mirage. Yeah. For just maybe once, maybe twice. Yeah, just a great song. She wrote some great songs. Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And I should say it's not the second side of Rumors. It's the third song on the second side.
Third song.
Okay.
Because this first song is the Chain.
Yeah.
All right, number 7. Off Rumors, Go Your Own Way.
Yeah.
Talk about songs that, that's just another one of those. It's just like a knife in the back. But what a catchy song. What a great song. Great vocals, awesome guitar parts.
Oh, I love Lindsay's guitar playing on that song. One of my favorite things he did with Fleetwood Mac is the guitar on that song.
Yeah, I think when I rank that album, I think I had that one a little bit low just because it's one of those that I'm kind of done with. So it does not make my list, but I'm glad that you mentioned it, Rob.
There's that one. I mean, you were talking about how Silver Springs is kind of like a real insult, and it's got to be painful for Lindsay to listen to. Well, this is kind of his retaliation to Silver Spring, because he's sitting there playing this song, and the lyrics like, packing up, shacking up is all you want to do, and I'd give you my life, and you're not interested. And I mean, that's pretty raw emotional stuff to be, in front of 60,000 people, and you're, insulting the person beside you. I mean, holy man,
100 times a year you're singing that song on a tour
for like 40 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, right. And solo, he's doing it solo too. So like, crazy.
Yep, I saw him solo, and seeing Lindsay solo is a completely different experience than seeing him in Fleetwood Mac. But still, I'm glad that I did.
He was supposed to come around here back in November. It was sold out. It was like one of the smaller venues that holds about 800 people, and then he canceled because of his health.
Yeah, I saw him a couple months before he had that heart attack or whatever.
Yeah,
and he was playing in Kitchener over at Center in the Square. Glen knows that place. About 20 minutes from where I live, and I wasn't going. And a friend of mine called, and she said, "I've got a ticket to go see Lindsey Buckingham tonight, and I can't make it. It's all yours."
Oh, wow.
See ya. Gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
What are we at, number 7?
7, yeah.
Number 7. Go your own way.
For me, the opening track to Rumors, Secondhand News. Again, one of those great. I love a song that fades in.
That's my next one. That's my number 6.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and then again, I love the Lindsey Buckingham vocal on that. He's got that high voice, I know nothing can change. And Stevie comes in, times get bad, times get rough. And then when he does the scatting with the guitar, the down, 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 down.
His guitar playing on that is what does it for me.
Oh,
it's simple, but it's not. And that's the lead track to Rumors. And the first time I put it on, I was instantly hooked. I'm like, that is
a killer opener. Yeah. It's a killer opener for a concert too. I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, I love that last note, I'm secondhand news. Like, he's just a killer singer. And I know Rolling Stone, like 15 years ago, did their 100 greatest guitarists, and he was number 100. I think he should be higher than he is, especially when
he's underrated.
He's got such an unconventional style of playing.
He holds that thumb and like does like this with his finger. It's crazy how he does
bizarre.
it. Yeah. So that's number 7. I love that song.
Wow. Yeah. I got another Stevie Nicks song, 3 in a row. Sarah.
Oh, why didn't that make my list? Oh, man.
I don't know. Another one. Just great.
There's so many. There's so many.
Just a beautiful song.
So number 6, we just talked about it. Secondhand News for me.
Yeah. Number 6, I'm back to Christine with Over My Head. Again, one of those great breezy songs. I love the version from the Dance live concert. Just again, she has that killer voice, and I'm so glad that when she came back, they added the song back in. Those last like 5 or 6 years that she was touring with them. Mm-hmm. Again, just great Fleetwood Mac harmonies, that breezy sound. It's a classic Christine song. It's it's the similar style to a song like Everywhere, but it's an older track, so it's got not as quite an 80s production to it, obviously. But I love the song. Again, I love the harmony with Stevie and Lindsay on it. It's a perfect pop track.
Absolutely. My number 6 is someone mentioned it earlier. I think it was Christian. He said it was one of his favorite tracks. Is the opening track to Tusk, Over and Over.
Yeah,
great Christine McVie song, and I love Lindsay's got a real tasteful slide guitar thing going on in that song that really is nice. It's just a beautiful song.
Yeah,
great opening track for that album.
Top 5.
Top 5.
All right, number 5 for me is one I bet you guys don't have on your list. The third song to the second self-titled, Blue Letter.
Not on my list.
I love that song. It was a blue letter she wrote. I just love that song. It's a Lindsay rocker. It's kind of a deep cut. I don't think it was ever a single. I don't think they ever played it live, but it's just a great electric guitar rock song. It's catchy as hell. So always loved that song. Blue Letter.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's an offbeat. That's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice pick.
Well, number 5 is a song that Rob disrespected many moons ago. It's Songbird. No, I'm kidding. I understand.
No, I know, but yeah.
No, I
Shame
completely
on me.
understand. And I feel like it needed to be on this list, especially since that's kind of what they're writing in the obituaries for Christine right now.
Well, and she was called Fleetwood Mac's Songbird.
She was the
that's what
Songbird.
everyone called
Yeah.
her, right?
And they talk about there's that documentary, that series of the greatest albums, those movies that came out in the early 2000s, and they talked about this. She talked about this song, alone in a concert hall. They set up a vase with flowers on top of the piano, and like a glass of wine or something, and she played it to the empty concert hall. That's where they recorded it.
Oh wow!
And you can hear the reverb in her voice, from that empty concert hall. And it's beautiful, and she kind of reenacts it in that movie where she's sitting alone at the piano and just does it. And I mean, what a perfect track to kind of to be your track when you pass away. Like this is, if you not remember for anything else, just Songbird. I mean, that song is like a rock pop hymn almost. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Wow, great pick. My number 5, another Stevie Nicks song, Landslide.
I'm ashamed to say it didn't make my list. And
didn't make your list. I mean,
I love that song though.
It's not on mine either.
Man, what a song. Like one of the great songs. Might be top 10, 15 song of all time for me. Like that's just a perfect song.
So a quick story. My best friend who lives in Toronto, he and I get together weekly over Zoom to watch The Walking Dead. We were watching the finale a couple of weeks ago, and he's going through a divorce right now. Mm-hmm. And Landslide was their song, and that song was played in the finale, and he just lost it. Man. And I thought to myself, aside from the facts, my best friend and I, I wanted to help him, whatever. But you just go, that is the power of music. That a song can move somebody like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the mark of an incredible song.
I know it has many, many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
What are we on here? Number
4.
4. My number 4 is The Chain from Rumors. That song is awesome. It's an incredible high energy opener to the second side of Rumors. If anyone gets a chance to listen to the alternate Rumors album, which was a Record Store Day release from years ago, or in the box set that came out on this Record Store Day, there is an alternate version of The Chain. Stevie wrote it. It was like the demo version bears no resemblance to the song that is on the album. You almost wouldn't even know that it was the same song except for a few lines of lyrics that were the same, and it's acoustic and it's beautiful. Just an interesting listen, and I love it as much as I love the final album version. But if anyone wants to check out a very cool alternate take, check out Alternate Rumors.
And John McVie came up with one of the simplest yet most effective bass lines in the history of music in that song.
Right.
I'm sure guitar shops.
Play bass in the band I was in. We were playing that song. That was my favorite thing.
I play bass, but that's one of the few bass licks that I know because I'm sure guitar shops across the world are sick of it because bass players are like, "Oh, I can play bass." Yeah. And then that slow, doom, 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 doom with Mick on the drums, and then Lindsay comes in with a now. Yeah, it's killer.
Yeah. Number 4. What a great sort of metaphor for that band, right? I mean, all the shit that they put each other through, but through it all, you can't break the chain.
Yeah. And they didn't for 40 plus years.
Right.
I mean, there were different links, but it was still the same chain.
Right.
Number 4, let's stick to Rumors, Gold Dust Woman.
Oh yeah,
beautiful song.
One of the heavier Fleetwood Mac songs of that era. I mean, not counting the blues era. Actually, I heard a really cool cover of this song by the 90s group Sister Hazel. I was blogging for a music venue and I got to see them for free. And they had there was like a Fleetwood Mac tribute album that came out. and Sister Hazel. That's the song that they do for this album. And just one of those classic Stevie Nicks haunting songs. It's one of those songs that when you hear the song, you can picture her on stage with, the beads and the scarves doing this kind of stuff like this. And it's about, struggles with cocaine essentially. Because cocaine was flying in that part of the 70s, especially within Fleetwood Mac. I mean, you look up Mick Fleetwood's face on some of those covers and look at, what Stevie was burnt out on. And
it's amazing some of them didn't die.
Yeah.
And that they're all, other than, Christine just passed away almost 80. It's a miracle that they're all still here,
Right.
They're one of those groups, kind of like Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young. Like, how those four guys are still alive, I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, Gold Dust Woman, one of the heavier songs. I
was listening to Rumors today, and that came on, and I went, man, that's not on my list. And I just gave up. I'm like, I've written the list like 5 times.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
It's killer, and I would have loved to have seen it live.
Okay, before
I haven't. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Before I do my number 4, I'm going to catch up with comments here. Martin, if there isn't, there should be a full vinyl box set from 68 to now. That would be an interesting set. Just do the whole Fleetwood Mac history.
I'm going to top up. You catch up on the comments.
The Rockets did a great cover of Oh Well in the late 70s. Some people only know their version. I don't know that version at all. Fleetwood Mac covered Free Fallin' when I saw them in November 2019. Wasn't that interesting?
Well, that'd be cool.
Lindsay was massively disrespected by that guitar countdown. I'm still in awe of that Big Love rendition he did for the dance. Oh, yeah. How a guy could finger pick like that is beyond me. Being a banjo player, that's beyond me. Top 5 for me is Hypnotized from Mystery to Me. I friggin' love that song.
It's a great song.
There's an album that came out in the 70s, which is more of a pop album, but the Pointer Sisters did a covers album. And they had the big hit of Bruce Springsteen's Fire. And on that album, they do Hypnotized, and it's so good. And Nick, Glenfunkel, Sammon, and Rob, and everyone. Hey, Nick. Thanks for coming on. Okay, my number 4. I don't know if I should wait for Sam or not. He's getting his ketchup chips, I think.
No, I'm getting my ketchup coffee.
You got any ketchup chips left?
Yes, I do.
I didn't think they had those. I didn't think they had those in America.
They don't. I took them to them. I brought them 4 or 5 bags.
I wouldn't feed that shit to a dog.
Oh. Man, they're great.
Oh, they're disgusting. What's wrong with you?
I've had several people in my family that love chips say it's the best flavored chip they've ever eaten.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Oh, you'll be getting more in 2023, Sam.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Okay, my number 4 is Go Your Own Way. I think you guys, it was mentioned on one of your lists, I think.
Yeah, I had it at number 7.
Yeah, it's not on my list.
Great vocals, great song, catchy as hell. And like I said, Lindsey Graham, where the hell did I get that from?
What a Freudian slip.
Oh, really? That's really bad. I gotta go wash my mouth out. Oh, Lindsey Buckingham's guitar playing on that song is one of my favorite parts of Fleetwood Mac songs. So let's leave it at that. And I apologize, Mr. Buckingham.
Number 3. We've already talked about it. For me, number 3 is Silver Spring. I mean, the vocals in that are amazing. It starts off as such a sort of quiet song and unassuming, and it just builds and it builds and it builds until it just kicks you in the nuts, and it's awesome.
Yeah. And the recording of it is almost like it starts off too low.
Right.
In the mix, you find that, and you're going, geez, I'm struggling to hear the song, and then all of a sudden it's time.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how many takes they did of some of those songs.
Yeah.
Because of the emotion you hear behind the lyrics.
And it's amazing that they were sober enough to get anything down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Number 3 for me. I think we talked about it earlier. The Chain. I mean, again, one of those songs, it's played a lot on classic rock stations and in ads and things like that. But I mean, it's like Glenn said, one of the best bass lines of all time. You think the song is over, then it's quiet, and you got just the bass, the doom, 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 doom. And John McVie is not somebody that puts himself on the front. I mean, he doesn't sing even background vocals, much less have bass solos, and then just that crucial crescendo where they're all chains keep us together, and then Lindsay running through the shadow.
Yeah,
it's just killer. And I know that there was the group, one of those super groups. I think the High Women, I think is what they're called. They
I have their album. I'm not a country fan, but their album's fantastic, and they covered it. It was for a movie soundtrack.
Yeah, Brandy Carlisle and Maren Morris and Amanda Shires, I think
and Natalie Hemby.
Yeah. So they do a great version. I mean,
and their backing band is Jason Isbell's band.
Yeah, he's married to Amanda.
Because he's married to Amanda Shires. Yeah, they did it live on the Stern show, and it's incredible.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Wow.
So
that was what got me into the Highwaymen, actually, because I saw that and I'm like, someone's covering the Chain. This can't be very good. And I saw it. I'm like, holy crap! Who are these Highwaymen?
Brandy Carlisle is killer. Yeah.
I didn't even know who she was at the time because I'm not really into country music, and I love that Highwaymen album now because of their version. That version isn't on the album, but that's what got me into it.
Yeah, you would like more Brandy Carlisle. I wouldn't even call her country. She's right there in like that Americana.
Yeah, you're
like
right.
Blue Rodeo. Right. She would fit right in with those guys.
Yeah, I'm sure she would.
But yeah, I mean that's what they opened with for so long. The Chain. I mean, what an opener to. Because like the stage would be black, and you hear that like that, just that drum by Mick. It's a killer track. It really is.
They did a great job of it.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're on number 3 now, Sam?
That was number 3. Yep.
That was your number 3?
Yep.
My number 3 is Never Going Back Again. Written by Lindsey Buckingham from Rumors.
Can't believe that's not on my list.
That's a great song, and I think I mentioned this when we were talking about Fleetwood Mac last time we were together, and I mentioned that I had a DVD audio disc of Rumors at one point, and there was a few alternate takes on, and that was one of the songs that had an alternate track, and there was like a dual guitar part in it that isn't on the original album, and it just sounds incredible with this other guitar part they put in it. It was just it's a great song.
And one of the simplest sounding songs that's incredibly difficult to play.
Yeah.
Guitar players, it's one of those songs that guitar players argue about how to play, kind of like Blackbird. It's one of those songs where people are like, you're playing it, but you're not playing it right. And if you watch him doing it, his thumb, what it's doing differently than the treble, it's unbelievable. I've tried it many times and I can't get it.
Yeah. It's like
I know that I couldn't, so I don't even bother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun, but it sounds great.
Yeah.
He did it live when I saw him, and the way that he does it live is so different. It's very
lower down. Yeah,
it's very low key and very I actually don't like his solo, the way he does it solo live. It loses what makes it great, in my opinion. But it's too slow, and you're just like, oh man, come on, pick it up a little bit.
I can get that.
That's great. So we're down to our last 2.
Number 2.
Number 2. I think we've talked about this one already, but my number 2 is Don't Stop.
There we go. Yeah. Man.
Especially the live version with the USC marching band is from the dance, incredible. But even just the regular version is everything about it is amazing. It's up tempo. It gets in your head. It's definitely an earworm. It's fun to listen to. Great vocals, great lyrics. I sort of love the positivity of it. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. What a great sort of message. So don't stop.
And I know when Christine passed that Bill Clinton had a statement about that and how happy he was to get their approval to use that in the 90s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And really, because he asked for it, I think that we may not have had Fleetwood Mac touring for 20 years that we did if he hadn't have asked for that, because that was really the impetus for them to get back together.
Yeah, but that lineup for sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Number 2 for me, probably maybe a little bit of a surprise to people, just because it's it's not necessarily the classic era, but it's Little Lies for me.
Great song.
Number 2.
Another
Again,
good pop song. Just
it's one of those songs that it's always, you can ask anybody in my family. It's one I'll just start singing it and they're like, "Oh, Sam, stop singing that song." Like, you sing it all the time. I'm always singing, "Tell me lies, tell me sweetly." And that was during that era where Stevie was really strung out in the 80s. So she didn't have a lot of involvement with that. She's in the video and you can see her. And I love Lindsay's part where he goes, tell me lies," and just a killer pop song. And like Christine, it's crazy how well her music suited the 80s. And I'm not a big 80s guy at all. But Little Lies, I mean, it's 80s, but it's not. It's just a great song. I love the contributions from the three vocalists. With the close my eyes. I love the whole feel of it, the whole vibe of it. It's just a perfect song to me.
I hated that song in the 80s. So in the 80s, when that came out, I was, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old.
87, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I would have been 9 years old because I was born in 78. So every morning after Dad would go to work, Mom and I'd be having breakfast and I'd be getting ready for school, and she'd have the local radio station on. And I wasn't into music at that time. I didn't get into music till, like early 90s. And I hated that song because it got played all the time. And the damn thing would get stuck in my head, that song, all day. And I hated it because as soon as I heard it, I'm like, I'm going to be singing this damn song all day. I didn't know it was Fleetwood Mac. I didn't know who Fleetwood Mac was. Then as I got into music, I appreciated how awesome of a song that was.
That's hilarious. Well, my top two are going to be totally obscure. I guarantee that neither of you guys have this on your top 12.
Stop Dragging My Heart Around is a Stevie Nicks song, Glenn.
No, my number 2 is off of Tusk, the 7th track. Do you know what the track is? Without looking.
Without looking? No, I don't know. Without looking.
No, I have no idea.
It's a real folky track. Stevie Nicks, just the acoustic guitar. Storms.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I don't know it.
Oh, you should listen to that. It's just absolutely beautiful.
It is a beautiful song.
Acoustic guitar, and
I don't think about that one very often.
Oh, I just love that song.
Yeah.
You got to check that out, Sam. You would love that song.
Yeah, I need to listen to Tusk.
Right up your alley. Check out Storms. Yeah. A real obscure one, but I absolutely love it.
So my number one is, I bet neither of you have this on your list. It was a single. I don't know that it was a hit, but my number one from the second self-titled album, Monday Morning.
Oh, great song.
Great song. They played that live when they toured it, when they toured for Rumors and for the self-titled album. They played it live. There's a lot of live versions of it on like the anniversary edition of the self-titled album and the anniversary edition of Rumors. It's on there. I've got a bunch of live performance of it on bootleg. It's just such a great song. And a lot of Monday mornings when I get in the car for work, and because I'm in commercial sales, so I'm driving around all day, and then Monday mornings I just don't feel like getting in the car and going somewhere. I'll put on that song. It gets me in a better mood as I'm heading out for a week of trying to sell crap to people.
Well, it's better than listening to Boomtown Rats. I don't like Mondays.
There you go.
Yeah. That's kind of the introductory song to that grouping of Fleetwood Mac, right?
Yeah, it really does.
That's the first song anybody heard.
Yeah, and it sort of it points the band in a new direction because it's certainly markedly different from what came before.
Yeah. Wow, what's your number one, Sam?
Well, if anybody is a fan of my series with Rich Strickler, where we rank our favorite albums and classic albums, it's my number one favorite Fleetwood Mac track. It's my number one favorite on Rumors. It was already mentioned. We just talked about it. Never Going Back Again.
Yeah.
I just, that song, I listened to that song so much in college. That's where I really became invested in the Rumors album. Again, if anybody knows me, that's like the most Sam sounding Fleetwood Mac song, probably. I hate that it's so short. It's only like 2.5 minutes, the album version. That's why I almost prefer the live version, because they stretch it out longer. And I love how he hits that huge note live where he's like, been down there one time. And he goes like, ha. And then he says 3 times and he holds it forever. Yeah. I think it's killer. I love the picking on it. I was actually just a few days ago, I go through phases on YouTube where I'll just look up every single cover that looks good of a song. And I looked up a ton of covers. I was looking up guitar tutorials on. I wasn't even holding my guitar. I was just watching how people played it. It's one of those that it comes around in my life when it needs to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I love the whole sound of it. It's obviously, another dig at Stevie. But she was with another guy at that time. And I mean, to me, it's just a perfect acoustic folk track. And it really showcases Lindsay as an acoustic guitar player. So Never Going Back Again from Rumors, number 1.
Wow.
Good
Awesome
choice.
song. Can't argue with that pick. My
Drum roll.
obscure one off the Fleetwood Mac self-titled album. I didn't know this was going to be my favorite Fleetwood Mac song of all time until I heard a banjo player by the name of Tony Trischka. Do you know Tony Trischka, Sam? He did it on one of his albums. He covered a Fleetwood Mac song called World Turning.
Oh,
wow.
great song.
Yeah.
On banjo.
On banjo. Yeah, it's incredible.
I can't imagine what that would sound
And
like.
I think Alison Krauss is the guest vocalist.
Huh.
And that's when I really started going, this is a freaking killer tune, and went back and kind of revisited it on the Fleetwood Mac album. And it's just become my favorite Fleetwood Mac song of all time. That's number 1.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Great song.
World Tune.
And great when they do it live.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was great. That was a lot of fun.
We did that in the first hour. That's pretty good. Like, exactly.
The interesting thing is anything that I think any of us had in the top 10 could have been number 1.
Yeah. You could
there's
just
so many.
throw them in a hat. Yeah.
And I think if you asked me to do this list again next week, it would be a different list. Except for Monday morning being at the top, the list would be almost entirely different.
Well, I mean, you kind of proved that saying you've changed your list several times already.
I was trying to think, if someone said to you, what's the number 1 album ever made that you would expect to see when you went into someone's house and said, can I look through your record collection?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Rumors would be up there.
Rumors would be my number 1.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if someone didn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rumors, like, because that's different than like a thrift store find. Because like something like Whipped Cream and Other Delights.
Yeah, no. I mean, like a real album that just is so enduring that every generation loves it.
Yeah, because
like
right now
kids love it. Everybody
kids love it. Yeah, because kids relate so much to Stevie Nicks and her whole persona, and so people are like, oh, Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac. You got to listen to Rumors and Landslide with the Dixie Chicks in the '90s.
Yeah,
took that, like, my generation, like that's how we first heard it, was Dixie Chicks.
Yeah,
you know what's crazy?
Just killer.
Did any of us have Dreams in our top 10?
No.
How is that even possible?
We could do another hour on more Fleetwood Mac.
Because I was thinking when Sam was talking about how kids are getting in, Dreams recharted during the pandemic when that guy did that TikTok video when he's skateboarding, and it just it blew up.
The album, it sold like crazy again.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
I can't believe none of us had Dreams, because Dreams is incredible.
Yeah, I'm going to catch up on some comments here before we move on from Fleetwood. Hypnotized, already looked at that. I don't know what that meant. Makes sense since Stevie and Tom Petty were close.
Oh, because I mentioned Stop Dragging My Heart Around.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Zach, for that. And then she wrote a great song called Hard Advice in tribute to Tom Petty. I don't know if I know that song.
I don't know that one.
And when is favorite Supertramp song? I don't know. Are you asking us to do our favorite Supertramp song?
I couldn't right now.
You all had great lists. I would include Why from Mystery to Me. I think we kind of agreed that that's an album we need to revisit.
Yeah.
And that's it. That was great.
It was.
Awesome. Then you can just one of the greatest bands ever. Absolutely.
It does make you wonder where they're going to go next, especially as busy as Mike Taylor. I think Mick Fleetwood's a guy's coming out with an album soon, and Mick Fleetwood's the drummer on it. So they're doing stuff individually. I don't know. And
I can't remember whoever it was that had their contest a while back that was your top musical wish list for 2023. I had on there Rod. I didn't think it would happen, but it was Rod. That's right.
Rod. Yeah.
I said I would love to see a Fleetwood Mac studio album that included Neil Finn and Mike Campbell.
Yeah, I would too.
Those guys are amazing. And while they don't replace Lindsay, they bring something different to it. They're both incredible songwriters. And you just go, what would a Fleetwood Mac studio album sound like with those guys? Yeah. I don't know if it's going to happen, especially now with Christine being gone. But
I would at least like to hear a live album from that tour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because somebody mentioned when I was getting coffee that they did Free Falling, because they did something like Don't Dream It's Over, and they did Like I think they might have done. They did Free Falling. I think maybe Running Down a Dream with Stevie singing Running Down a Dream.
Yeah.
So that would be cool. But the thing is, I look at Fleetwood Mac kind of like the Eagles or the Rolling Stones. I feel like they just don't care about the studio anymore. That they just want to play.
Yeah.
It would seem that way.
Yeah.
Have either of you guys heard they put out an electronic EP, like it wasn't CD or anything, it was called Extended Play.
Mm-hmm.
They put that out before Lindsay was terminated from the band. It was a 4-song digital EP, and there was 2 Lindsay songs and 2 Stevie songs, and it's fantastic.
Really?
It charted. It made it to number 48 on Billboard, but it was a
Not aware of
digital
that at
only
all.
release, but it's called Extended Play.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's got I'm just going to pull it up here. Can't remember the name of it. It's got kind of a boring, innocuous cover, but they did it in about, well, I can tell you the year here in a second. It came out in, as soon as my computer cooperates, Extended Play. It came out in 2013, and there's 4 songs in there. Sad Angel, Without You, It Takes Time, and Miss Fantasy. Sad Angel is just, it's a great Lindsay song and sounds exactly like a sort of Rumors era Lindsey Buckingham song. It's great.
Lindsey Buckingham, that dude, it's crazy how well he's retained himself, his voice, the way he looks. I mean, all of those guys from Fleetwood Mac aged very well.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially we were talking earlier how we can't believe they're still alive or didn't, their
Yeah.
voices didn't get shredded from drugs or anything. I mean, when you hear them live, it's kind of like the Eagles, to use them again. It's like they can still play that album note for note.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a feat.
That's crazy. Oh, look who's here.
There he is.
We love you, Rich.
Look at that. He's got Monday Morning on there. I'm not the
Hey
only
guys,
one that
great
thinks it's a
subject.
great
Top 10
song.
for me. Monday morning, secondhand news, never going back again. Dreams.
There's
He's got
Dreams.
it. Gypsy, Hypnotized. We talked about that. Rhiannon, Silver Springs, Go Your Own Way, in the Chain. Wow. Great list.
Can't argue with anything on there.
Yeah, can't argue with you, Rich. And thanks for being here. Okay, guys.
Thanks for including Monday Morning, so I'm not the only one.
I came up with a game.
All right.
Let me introduce it. I got a banner.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Yay or Nay.
Okay.
Yay or nah? Yay
Nah.
or nah?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
didn't know how
all
to spell
podium.
nay. How do you spell nay?
N-A-Y.
I don't know.
Oh, that's it.
Or
Yay or nah?
N-E-I-G-H, like a horse.
There you go. I
Damn.
think we should call it yay or nah.
Nah.
Yay or nay.
Nah.
Yeah.
Save. Show. Yay or nay.
Hey.
That's better.
I got it. Okay. So I'm going to come up with a premise that this might happen, and you guys are going to tell me whether you think yes or no.
Okay.
And if you want to say that's stupid, whatever you want to do, and feel free to elaborate.
We can insult you then, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Now, supposedly the Rolling Stones are in the studio in New York recording an album.
Yep.
And all new tracks and stuff like this, and some stuff that when Charlie Watts was still alive. So I'm going to make a comment, and then you tell me whether yes or no. The new Rolling Stones album will be their best album since Tattoo You.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I don't care because I don't like the Rolling Stones.
Oh, okay.
Whew. How many albums have come out since Tattoo You? That was 1980, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whew.
I have one Rolling Stones record.
Or even
I haven't
it'll be like a really good album. Let's just put it that way.
I think it will be because I know some people crapped over the Living in a Ghost Town. I love that song. I thought it sounded like it could have been from Exile.
Well, the only reason I didn't like the song is because Mick used that voice correct auto tune or whatever it was on his voice, and you could hear it, and it drove me nuts. Like, so if they do that on the whole album, I would be unlistenable to me.
If they do it, because I mean, he obviously has some voice filters like on Blue and Lonesome on that album, but it was more like kind of like Bob Dylan from Time Out of Mind, like something like that, which I can handle a little bit more. I think it'll be a good album, especially if they have Steve Jordan on there too.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Rich.
When was the last time? Because I don't like the Stones. When was the last time they put out a studio album?
Well, they did Blue and Lonesome, which was a blues covers album, really. Their last studio album, I don't even know what it would have been. Bigger Bang or
a
something.
Bigger Bang, which was like 2004 or 5.
I gave up on them. Like Steel Wheels was probably the last one that was listenable.
And again, not knowing squat about the Stones because they don't interest me.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to think they're probably getting to the age that, I mean, it's got to be hard to deliver what they were able to probably 20 years ago, right?
That's my whole thing with classic.
Like here's an example. I'm a huge Aerosmith fan, and I like their newer stuff. Which
one of my most hated bands of all time. This is funny. You with the Stones, you with Aerosmith.
Right, there you go. And I always wanted them to do one more album, and they did Music from Another Dimension, and I went, oh, that's a steaming turd. And I just go, you know what? I think maybe they're too old to, they've run out of gas. And I just wonder if the Stones they got to be in what, their late 70s by now?
Oh, yeah.
80s?
Yeah. Nick's 80, I think.
Nick is about to be 80 if he's not already.
I don't know. I'm the least qualified person to answer it. But
I
think by that age, you're running.
I think that's a general comment you could make about any of the classic rock artists is they have a hard time competing with their classic catalog. Excuse me.
They make you.
Martin gives it a strong nay.
Well, see, the thing with Blue and Lonesome was that started as them just in the studio because they would always warm with Blue songs. Mm-hmm. And then they kept playing it, and I think it might have been Ronnie Wood who said we should record some of this, and so they did. And I'll tell you, and Keith will be the first to say it, that Mick Jagger is a killer harp player.
Yeah, he is good. Yeah, he's a good blues harp player.
Because I mean, Keith said he's essentially he's as good as someone like Little Walter from like the classic blues guys, and he's like Mick can play, he can wail on that thing, and he can. Yeah. And that's what that album showcases is how good of a blues band they are.
Okay. Question number 2. That worked out good.
It did.
The Beatles
are not getting together.
Will reissue the stereo vinyl box set in colored vinyl in the next couple of years.
Nay.
Really?
Well, let me ask though.
Isn't that a cash grab for sure?
Hold on. If they're going to do a stereo reissue, I don't care about colored vinyl. Put it on black. But if you're going to do a stereo reissue, do what they did with the mono remasters.
In analog.
Do a direct analog transfer. None of this digital shit.
Yeah, but the problem with that is there's only a certain that doesn't appeal to the mass audience.
But you know what? The people that are going to pay for that box set
are
the Beatles nerds. Are the Beatles nerds like you and me, and we care about it, right? So
I just think they're probably more apt to reissue the stereo box set than they are to ever go back.
But I don't think people don't care about the stereo box set because you can go buy those albums individually. Today they're still being repressed. If they're going to reissue anything, they'd probably want to reissue the mono box because that's.
I mean, that would be awesome.
I don't even have the mono box.
Who don't have it? It would piss me off because then my box set isn't worth $3,000 anymore.
I don't have the box, and I kick myself because I couldn't afford it at the time. But I did buy all the albums individually, so I have them all. I just don't have the box with the book in it.
And they're going to be putting their efforts toward Rubber Soul. That's what they're going to put their money behind next year.
Yeah, that question might be coming up. Last good Stones album, Some Girls. Yeah, great album. Well, Tattoo You afterwards, which I think is a really good album. Without Charlie, it might sound like Queen's Made in Heaven. Well, Charlie's going to be on a few of the tracks.
He's on like 5 or 6 tracks.
So, okay, so let's just jump ahead then. While you mentioned Rubber Soul. Rubber Soul Deluxe set in 2023.
Yep, next Christmas.
Yeah.
What do you expect to be included besides
Rubber Soul?
You didn't let me finish. Besides the album.
Alternate takes.
I think, and I'm a huge Beatles
What would you
fan.
like to see included? Just alternate takes? There's got to be something.
I honestly hope they don't do it, but they will do it. I don't think there's enough to warrant the box set anymore. I don't even think there was enough to warrant the Revolver box set.
No, it was pretty. Yeah,
there wasn't enough stuff.
No,
and I hope they don't just continue doing it because I have no desire for a Hard Day's Night or a Please Me box set that's $200.
Oh, I do.
But here's the problem: if they do it, I'm gonna buy it because I have a massive Beatles collection and I have everything. So I'll stupidly buy it.
Yeah, no, I would be happy.
I would stop at Revolver is where they should stop, but I think they'll probably keep going.
They'll keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Please Please Me, I don't know what they would do other than like maybe some like earlier live stuff from before Please Please Me.
Well, that's what I was just thinking. Even with Revolver, like with Rubber Soul, they're going to duplicate what they did with Revolver. They're going to put the mono in with it too on the vinyl set.
And I hate that because it devalues the mono.
And they'll do an EP of the singles, like We Can Work It Out and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then they got a lot of singles they can include that are on the past masters type.
Here's the problem with those box sets. You look at the Revolver one. How many times have you listened to the Sessions disc?
Very rarely, since I listened to it like maybe twice through. Yeah,
I've listened to it once. I'm going to listen to it once more because I'm doing a video with my buddy Mike in England, the Vinyl Policeman. He and I are talking about that. I think we're going to do it on Friday. So I'm going to listen to it again. But it's not something. I mean, how many versions of Taxman do you need to hear? When we're talking, for example, like the White Album, the Escher demos is kind of like the White Album unplugged. I would listen to that on a regular basis.
That's the only extras that have ever been on any of these sets that I go back to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're talking diminishing returns as we get to the earlier stuff.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think Rubber Soul will include a large price tag, but they all do. Yeah.
Yeah.
No more super deluxe extra special Beatle albums, please.
I agree, Martin. I agree.
Get up. Martin's done.
I agree.
I'm all for them. I'll bring them on.
Okay, what else? Okay, so go back to Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac will tour with Lindsey Buckingham in 2023, a farewell to Christine tour.
No.
Or a tribute to Christine tour.
No.
Won't happen?
Nah.
Stevie and Lindsey are just done?
Yeah, I think so.
I think Lindsey's in poor health with his heart and just several other issues. Mike is full on into the Dirty Knobs. They're they're opening for The Who, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Mike doesn't need to do it. And I think they're working on a third album, Dirty Knobs.
I still think Mike would make time for Fleetwood Mac, though, I think.
He would definitely for Stevie, because Stevie can pull those heartbreakers, because she had Ben Montench on her last solo tour. And I want to say Stevie's working on a solo album. So, I mean, her and Mike are very busy. Lindsey is fighting through his solo career right now. And I don't know what Mick and John do necessarily in their spare time.
Collect
they don't really have to do much.
They collect royalties.
Because Crowded House can't be making that much money on their tours.
No.
So
are they even touring? I can't imagine they are they?
They did. I know they reunited during COVID. Well, not reunited, but I know they did like a virtual thing of like "Don't Dream It's Over" for one of those fundraisers that somebody like a political fundraiser or something. And I think they tour like every 5 years or so. It's not like Neil Finn probably does like what Colin Hay does with Men at Work. Like he does his own thing and comes back with Crowded House.
I'm afraid Christine's death is kind of the bad pun, but the nail in the coffin for Fleetwood Mac.
I think they'll all sit in with each other. Like Mike will be playing. He'll be like, welcome Stevie Nicks or Mick Fleetwood. Because Mick Fleetwood kind of does like he's kind of got his own like club, doesn't it? Kind of like Daryl's house. And like he'll invite like John McVie's here, let's play, that sort of thing. So
do you think they'll do like a tribute night like they did? Well, they just did a Peter Green one recently, right? So
I don't think so.
And of course David Grohl would be invited.
Yeah. He's on everything.
No, I don't think it'll happen. I think this was too hard because it was so unexpected and so quick.
Yeah.
No, I don't see it happening, especially since they haven't toured since 2018.
Yeah.
They're 4 years older, and
I'm just so crushed that my pipe dream of a Mike Campbell, Neil Finn, Fleetwood Mac album. It's not that it was ever going to happen, but I held out hope that someday.
And Christine kind of did toward the end. She was like, "Yeah, we might play together and would like to write," because to bring like Mike's writing with Stevie's, like Mike writing that
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to see, but I just saw an interview with Ben Montench where he said it's probably not going to happen. I would love to see the Heartbreakers tour with Stevie Nicks.
I saw that mentioned somewhere. I was reading maybe Steve Hoffman forums. I was reading somebody said that would be a cool tour.
It won't happen though, because Ben Montench just said it's too hard. He can see the Heartbreakers sitting in with each other. Him and Mike have done a few things, but
you know who should front the Heartbreakers? Dave Grohl.
Right. He was the drummer
because he's on everything. So why not?
Yeah, technically he was a heartbreaker for a night.
I'll be shocked if David Grohl doesn't show up for my wife's birthday party. He just comes to everything.
You know what? I bet you we could get Dave Grohl on our little
probably. Yeah, if we just asked him, he's come on.
Well, he's going to be here next time, Glenn, to sit in with the Cosmic Torpedoes.
Yeah, he'd be there.
Yeah, he'll be
Sure.
there for calzones.
Let's fire off an email. See if we can make it happen.
Hey, okay, here's one that's kind of. I'm not sure how Rob is with this band, but I know Sam will enjoy this one. Oasis.
Oh, I'm a huge Oasis.
He's
Oh,
really
okay, here you go for both you guys, because I'm just a.
I'm
casual
probably
fan.
bigger than the two of you guys
Oh,
combined.
you are. But the answer is
Oasis will unite
no.
Never.
the Gallagher
Right.
brothers in
No.
2024 and tour the 30th anniversary of Definitely Maybe.
If there was an asteroid plummeting towards Earth and the fate of humanity relied on the Gallagher brothers working together, they would let humanity die.
They would say
Really?
F off.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not going to happen.
How can you
Liam-
hate your brother that much?
With
Liam
that-
was
with
all
that-
in.
With that said, I wish it would happen.
Oh
But
yeah.
then again, I almost wonder if that would. So and I'm going to use this analogy not because the bands are on par, but I think maybe part of the magic of the Beatles is when their career was over, it was over. They never got back together, and that's one of the things I do like about Oasis, that their career is done. They've gone off,
Yeah,
and
they moved
they
on.
haven't sort of cheapened it by trying to get back together. I think Noel is. I like Noel. I think Liam's something. I always loved Noel's solo stuff. Now I can't stand it, and I like Liam's solo stuff. But I
Liam's
just
a
think they're
killer.
going to keep going their own way and making their own things and being their own bosses. And
Well, that's the
as
thing.
much as Liam wants to get back together, Noel is the smart one of the two, and I think he just says, "I don't need the money and I don't need the drama. I'm just doing my own thing."
Yeah, 'cause-
Who was there one of them was more of a chief songwriter than the other?
Yeah,
or-
Noel.
Noel's the one
Noel
getting
is
the
the
money.
guy?
Yeah, because Liam will go out and sing the songs, and Noel will get the money.
Yeah,
Oh, because his name's on this. As
Yeah,
a-
Liam-
Noel wrote 85%
Okay.
of it all.
All right.
Liam's essentially just a singer. Like he doesn't
Yeah,
play.
Liam doesn't have the same cast that Noel's got
Mm-mm.
started.
And even like on his solo albums, he relies on outside songwriters.
Oh yeah,
But-
His last two solo records have been really good.
those last three were really good, and the 3 live albums that came out.
Yeah,
the
the,
two live
the
albums.
MTV Unplugged was phenomenal.
MTV is great. On the River Thames is great. From
Yep.
COVID. Oh,
Yep.
if you don't know those, Glenn, you need to listen to them.
yeah. I should check them out.
Especially the
I really should.
Unplugged. That
The
version
Unplugged is great.
of his song Once on the Unplugged. Oh, it's so good. And it's one of his newer songs, Glenn, but it's killer. And it's kind of about some of those songs are kind of about getting back with Noel, like, reaching out to him. Because I think Liam has softened up in his 50s.
Yeah.
And I think Liam would do it now.
Well, he's desperate to. He said many, many times,
He
I
misses
want
them.
to, but I think Noel's just aloof and just I don't need the money and I don't want the drama. It's a shame that two brothers are that far estranged.
Because even like the Davies brothers have gotten back a few times and played, and they're still on speaking terms now.
But then again, Don Henley and Glenn Fry said hell will freeze over before the Eagles get back
Yeah.
together. And then
And
they
so-
toured for 20
and
years. So
Axl Rose and Slash.
there you go.
I
So
think
you never know.
with the Kinks, it's more of a health thing now, probably than anything.
Yeah,
I think Dave had his strokes, and
Dave's
I don't
kind of
know if
rough
they can do it.
now.
But
I also think Noel has gone in a very different direction from Oasis with the latest High Flying Birds record.
Electronic and pop and
Yeah, and it sucks. I mean, in my
It does.
opinion.
Liam, they're just extensions of Oasis albums. Plus, he's got Buckethead.
Right. So I think Noel also has no. I mean, he plays the hits at his shows because he needs to.
Mhm.
Because if you go to a Noel show and he doesn't play "Don't Look Back in Anger," you're going to be pissed off.
Or even
But I-
Wonderwall because he didn't even
Right.
sing it. And you're like, oh, he's one of the Oasis guys. He's got to do Wonderwall.
Right. But
Yeah.
I don't think Noel has any interest in engaging in those songs. I mean, I've heard him say in interviews, they're not my songs anymore. They belong to the world and I'm done with them.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
He for sure said that about Champagne Supernova because
here's a comment that'll piss you guys off. Then I've tried over and over to listen to Oasis, but sorry, I just don't get it. Can't complete a whole song without turning it off from
But he
boredom.
respects them. He says.
Yeah.
I feel the
and
same way
everyone
about
else
the
is
Rolling
yours.
Stones. So there we go.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got Definitely Maybe, and I never listened to it. Maybe I should.
Definitely Maybe's good, but What's the Story Morning Glory is better.
Is
Pure
it?
masterpiece.
Yeah.
That album changed my life.
Wow. That's
And it made my top 10 favorite albums of all time. I think it was number
wow.
9.
That's pretty crazy.
I mean, for me, it's right now it would be number 2 behind Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah.
Okay, what else have I got here? CCR will unite and tour.
No,
No.
Won't happen?
no
No.
need.
They
Well,
sound very
Tom's dead.
softening.
Tom's dead, number one.
Well, yeah, I know, but the other two, Stu Cook.
John Fogerty's happy touring with his kids.
Yeah.
That's true too. But he could have his kid playing as Tom. He could do the John and
He doesn't
Stu
need
Cook
to.
I
and
think
what's the other
there's-
guy's name? I can't remember.
There's
Doug.
Stu Cook and Doug Clifford.
Doug Clifford.
Those guys are leeches. They're riding on Fogerty's talent, and they know it, and he knows it. And I think there's too much animosity because they sold off their voting interests in CCR to Saul Zantz, who was the president of the label, who Fogerty hates.
Yeah.
And then Saul sued Fogerty for sounding like himself. I think there's just too much bad blood that Fogerty's doesn't need to, and I don't think he wants to.
He couldn't play his own songs for years.
Yeah, so now he just plays with his kids, which is fun.
Yeah. Okay, we're not going to CCR one. What else? I got one more. A major artist will break from Live Nation / Ticketmaster and find a new means to sell and promote a major tour.
God, I hope so.
If it would be anybody, it would be somebody like Neil Young, who's already talking about retiring.
Yeah.
It would be one of those rebels.
But Neil, I don't know if would Neil be like Neil now plays small halls and stuff. Like he doesn't really do like you don't get Neil playing
he hasn't played anywhere.
Scotiabank Center anymore and 20,000 seat hockey arenas.
It's been like 4 years since he's played anywhere, and because COVID really took it out of him. And he's also
he's got something now where he's going on about the climate and the facilities that he plays in have to
I get it. I mean, Coldplay did that too, where they're like, we only want to play green spaces.
Yeah.
I think the only artist that has the power to do it and do it successfully is Taylor Swift. Look how she took on Apple.
Yeah.
And Ticketmaster is getting sued by her fans right now.
So if anyone can do it, it's her.
They don't seem to. Bruce Springsteen could have done it too. He didn't put his foot down either.
Yep.
Yeah. And
I'm thinking
like maybe one of the big rap stars like Drake or somebody like that could do it. I mean, there's big superstars that are.
Beyonce has also
not in our wheelhouse that might have the power. Beyonce, oh my God,
Beyonce would,
or Adele. Can you imagine Adele doing it?
Oh, Adele could probably do it. Yeah,
she's probably the biggest star in the world, I would think.
I don't know because I don't think Adele sells out huge places not like Taylor Swift.
Really? Eh?
I think it would be something like Taylor Swift because she's.
You know who could do it? Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl would do it.
Yeah. He's in the middle of it right now, actually. Yeah.
But I would like to see somebody do it.
Honestly, it would be.
Do something.
Imagine if it was something like as big as like, let's say like the three guys from Zeppelin got back together and they said, we'll do it, but we're not going to go through Ticketmaster. Like it would be something like where like they knew it would be like millions and millions and millions of people drawing their names.
See, someone's going to have to come up with another platform, but then it would just turn into another Ticketmaster, I think.
See, I'm also not sure what happens behind the scenes. Are all the facilities tied into Live Nation?
No.
And Ticketmaster, so no one be allowed to play at a certain hockey arena, Boston Gardens or whatever, because Boston Gardens is tied in with shows that are promoted by Live Nation.
Yeah,
like you might not be able to
bigger venues. Yeah, that's probably
the venues would have to pull out and side with the artists, and they're not going to with money because the venue doesn't care. It's just a building.
Yeah, but it's not cool.
All the venue cares is they get their booking fee.
Yeah, and they want butts in the seats.
Yeah.
And if they get it, even if people are spending $35,000, they would love that.
It's insane. It's a shame.
It's a broken system for sure.
They're killing the music industry.
Oh, definitely.
I grew up in an era when you wanted to go see a concert, you lined up outside the venue when the tickets went on sale. And if
I've done that a few times.
You lined up 24 hours before the tickets went on sale.
I've done that for you too.
You get a freaking ticket.
I've done that for you too.
Or you keep calling the venue, like the phone lines are open now. Like you just call, hang up, call, hang up, call, hang up.
Yeah. But then they got all these robocalls now and stuff. It's changed so much, right? Like one guy somehow controls 100 phones and calls in.
That's why these smaller venues are the places to see these shows. I mean, football stadiums, soccer stadiums, it's fine. I saw Elton John at Panther Stadium in Charlotte, but seeing a show that holds 800 people, nothing like it.
No, intimate shows are the best.
Yeah.
I prefer going to shows where I can buy tickets directly from the venue. Like, for example, I'm going to see Blue Rodeo in January on the eastern leg of their tour. They're playing the next city over in Kitchener. They've got a venue called Center in the Square, seats about 2,000 people, and you buy the tickets directly from the venue.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Facilities have contracts with ticket sellers.
Yeah, unless they're privately owned.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad. It's something really dramatic needs to happen and life-changing.
I think it's definitely a conversation, like Rob said, but especially with this Taylor Swift debauchery. I think that's really opened the doors to conversation.
But who has the money? What gets me is who has the money? Like I see a Bruce Springsteen, you got to pay $5,000 to see a ticket because it's like a third-party seller now has
To
it.
sit
Like,
behind the stage. Yeah.
how is this facility getting filled with fans? Like I'd have to be a millionaire to buy it.
I mean, I think Ticketmaster will stay, but Ticketmaster needs to be reformed. So there's two problems. They allow all the bots in there to snatch up all the tickets. Yeah. And then you can be an authorized reseller to resell your tickets on Ticketmaster's platform.
Yeah.
If they stopped both of those practices.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you do it.
It's legalized scalping. It should be.
Oh, it's piracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No way. Line up in front of Sam the Record Man. That's right, Martin. That's what we used to do. I did it for George Harrison. I did it for the Rolling Stones in '72. I lined up in front of Maple Leaf Gardens for like 15 hours.
Did you see George Harrison?
When Springsteen played at the Born in the USA tour in '85 or whatever, he's playing at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. I remember driving by that stadium, and it was the coldest frickin' winter, and the tickets went on sale in like January for a summer show. There was like 20,000 people lined up outside it. It couldn't have been colder. I don't know how they did it.
God.
I bought a scalper's ticket for that one.
Wow.
But if they stop resale, they don't get a percentage. Yeah, they don't get their high percentage. True. Yeah.
True.
It's money. They get paid twice for the ticket. Yep. I grew up when you went to a concert, you paid $4 or $5 for tickets, and we're exposed to us from different perspectives. Yep. Yeah, me too.
It's crazy because being somebody that's bought tickets to a few bigger shows in this past year, it's crazy how you're looking at like a section of the stadium and, all the tickets are turning gray because the seats have been selected, and then you refresh it and then they're all red because those are the resellers. It's like that was just sold out a minute ago, and now, you got 30 of them lined up from these resellers.
I don't even bother anymore. There's nobody I would pay, like big concerts. I'm done. I can't do it. I paid Mark mentioned that comment about $4 to $5. I still remember $3.50 to see Cream at Massey Hall.
Wow.
Yeah, you just can't. Yeah, you can't. I don't know. Do you ever get to see your favorite performers anymore? Unless you're rich.
Like for people like me that didn't get to see them on their first or second, run. For me, it's like, I'm trying to sneak into these shows. I tried to see Bruce, but I couldn't do it because it wasn't sold out, but it was like I couldn't get two tickets next to each other for my sister who wanted to go, and the only ones that I could were behind the stage at like $200. I'm like, I'm not sitting $200, and I'm not even a mega Bruce fan. Like
no way.
So about I don't know, a month ago or whatever, Shania Twain announced that she was touring, and she's touring Canada. And my wife's a huge fan. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to look at getting tickets. So one of the places she's playing, I think was it? I mean, she's definitely playing Scotiabank Arena in downtown Toronto. I think she was playing Cops in Hamilton, I think. But at any rate, I thought I'm going to check tickets. And I could get tickets. And they were nosebleed seats. And they were like $350 a seat. And I said,
whoa,
I'm sorry.
Before fees too.
That ain't happening. And I just go, it's priced to the point where unless you have a lot of disposable income, somebody was right there when they said, their kids can't go see who they want to see anymore. Kids, I mean, who can afford to go see Taylor Swift if you've got kids? You can't.
You can't. And my sister and one of her friends from work got floor seats to see her in Pittsburgh. They're driving up to Pittsburgh from Virginia, and they got floor seats with all the fees and everything. I mean, they're looking at like $650 total. Wow. But they were dying to see Taylor Swift, and I had to sign up for the pre-sale. My sister signed up for it. I was the one who got the codes. She used my Ticketmaster account to buy the tickets, and It was just a whole. She was lucky; she got the tickets in like 20 minutes. But she was
For
really
what
early.
show is this?
Taylor Swift. And,
she did get your sister got tickets?
Yeah, I think in June. It's
Oh
like
my God.
It's like the 14th of June or so up in Pittsburgh, and she's going with a friend of hers from work.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
floor
incredible. You're the first
seats.
person I know actually was successful getting tickets.
And where she's seeing it, because the way Taylor Swift is set up, she's got that stage that comes down the middle. And so they're going to be like at the front of that stage, essentially. So when Taylor Swift walks down, they'll be pretty close to see her.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've already seen her.
Oh, yeah. Power that woman
True.
has as an entertainer. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, my cousin, he's 30. He saw her play here in Roanoke at like a 2,000 person venue. She was like opening for like Brad Paisley, in 2006.
That's when to see people, man. You got to be on the
She was
cutting
like 15
edge.
years old. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Before they get big, that's why I saw Zeppelin in front of 2,000 people, and you got to be on top before these people become huge.
Well, my sister saw. I mean, not that anybody here cares, but they saw Shawn Mendes, who's one of the bigger pop stars now. They saw him in a venue of like 800 people. He just did like the whole first album, and it was just him and the guitar. And now he's throwing out Madison Square Garden for like 4 nights in a row.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah,
just like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But they said that like when they saw him, they said that was like the closest that they've seen a concert that was like Beatlemania. They said like there were girls like hanging on chain link fences. He comes out like they're like, like shaking hands with his security guard, like up at his bus. They're waving at the bus, like just charging. That it was crazy. And it was just an acoustic show at a 600, 700 person venue.
Wow.
And just girls screamed the whole time and wept.
Queen, Kansas, $5. There we
go.
That's a band I would have loved to have seen live as Queen. I mean, I like Kansas too, but man, Queen would have been incredible.
After a lot of people paying $5,000 in Springsteen, I saw 10 shows in 75 and 1470 paid no more than $7. And that was the prime year when he was at his peak. Yeah, that's crazy. Now Dylan is worth seeing it as every show he plays, he reinvents his songbook and plays them with artistic integrity. I agree. I know Sam's seen him more recently. I haven't seen him since 2018 or something, but
yeah, I saw him in April, and his tickets are still affordable. I mean, he's still playing. He's playing like these little like 2,000 person performance centers. And I mean, I was like 7 rows from the front and paid like $90.
He's done his European tour now, right? I think he's just at home.
His last show was like November the 5th or the 6th for this.
So they got to be making an announcement soon about the next leg of the tour.
Well, I think he has dates lined up through March up in Europe.
Oh, still? He's got to go back to Europe?
I think like in Finland and areas like that.
Oh, damn. Get away from Europe, man.
Yeah, he's booked out until like March, I think.
Paid $30 to see McCartney in '93.
Wow.
Bro. So my McCartney, the first or second time I saw McCartney? I can't remember. Anyway, I never listened to the radio, and it was a Monday morning, and I forgot to bring a CD with me or something like that. And I go to get in my car. I go, oh, damn, I don't have any music with me. So I click on Q107 Toronto, classic rock station.
Great station.
First thing in the morning, and they're having a contest for Paul McCartney tickets. And they asked the question, what's Paul's first name? That was the question. And
James.
No one was getting the answer.
Really?
No one. Long enough that I was going, what the fuck? And I phoned in. And they answered the phone. I went, James. So, yeah, you win the tickets.
No way.
It went on for 10 minutes, and not one person knew that his first name was James.
Wow.
And I ended up with 2 free tickets to see McCartney.
Yeah.
He's probably the most I've ever paid for a concert. I saw him when he did that, what they call it, Back in the USA tour or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like 2001.
Yeah, one. Yeah.
Yeah. When I went, and I think, so it was at Scotiabank Arena, which back then, I don't know what the hell, it's where the Maple Leafs play.
Yeah.
And we were like 3 rows off the floor. So the decent seats. And I think I paid like $200 a seat. But I didn't care because I'm like, this is probably going to be the only time I'm going to get to see McCartney.
Yeah.
I've already seen Ringo. The other 2 are dead. So, I have to pay and I'm glad I did. The show was incredible.
Yeah.
I'm not religious, but it was as close to a religious experience as I'll ever get.
I agree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just song after song of just like, you just going, oh my God.
I mean, I distinctly remember, I think the second song you played was All My Lovin'. And I just sat there and I closed my eyes. And his band is, as you know, They're so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They're note for note perfect.
Yeah.
And I swore I was listening to the Beatles, and I was just, I mean, it was almost like transcendental. It was just.
You saw him this year, right, Sam?
I saw him in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, with my sister. And like I've said many times, and Joe Mayo actually talked about it too, because him and Rob from Rob Skewer Music saw him up in New York. And you know, people can badmouth McCartney all the time, like, oh, his voice is trash every year after year after year. But like Joe said,
it's McCartney.
Joe's seen him like 7 times, and he's like, every time you go to a McCartney show, it's the best McCartney show you've seen. And that's how it was. I saw him, and again, when they pulled John Lennon's voice out for "I've Got a Feeling," like that was like raw. Like I closed my eyes. I'm like, I'm listening to McCartney harmonize with John Lennon at a football stadium. Like that will never happen again for me. Like that was just unbelievable, just unbelievable.
That's crazy.
80-year-old voice or not, it was insane.
Oh no, I can't afford to see him anymore. But if I ever could, I would go again.
But your daughter saw him, right, in Florida?
She saw him in Orlando, yeah. Glenn, January Dylan's bootleg series picks up with 4 CDs. Time of the month. Yeah, I can't wait for it either.
And it's dropped in price about $35.
Has it? Oh, good.
On Amazon US, it's like $108 now.
Okay, because it's $149 or something in Canada. Right,
yeah, they've slashed the price already.
I'll tell you, I would buy the 2 CD set, but I want that live stuff.
Yeah,
you got to buy the deluxe set to get the live.
Oh, I'm buying the deluxe. I mean, I'll buy every deluxe that comes out from here on out.
I screamed like a girl in 1964 when John appeared on "I've Got a Feeling." What a moment!
I like to hear that, Zach.
Peed his pants. There's something else.
Oh, I should show you. Speaking of Zach, he sent me a message, Glenn, and he said,
Mark and others, are you looking for the remix? What's that remix of?
For the first disc of the Time Out of Mind, it's going to be
without Daniel Lanois.
Without Daniel Lanois, yeah.
So they're remixing it without him. Daniel Lanois should have been involved.
Zach made this for us, Glenn.
Oh, Sammon and Glenfunkel. That's awesome.
It's me and you, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be it's weird. It's gonna be the album without Daniel Lanois. And then that last disc is gonna be stuff that's already been released on the bootleg. Trouble. No, what's it called? What's the one called that goes through like "Oh Mercy" and "Love and Theft"? Oh my word, what is it called?
Oh, the last one?
No. It was one of the earlier ones.
I can't remember.
It covered like his 80s material and like up to like 2001.
Yeah, some of that stuff's repeated.
Yeah. Oh God, what is it called?
Maple Leaf Gardens was actually a dump. I got to argue with it. I mean, great memories because there were so many great shows and stuff, but it was a dump. Remember, did you ever go to Maple Leaf Gardens, Rob?
I haven't.
They had troughs that you had to pee in back then. They had troughs, and you stood on guys standing on each side of each other peeing to pee.
Don't cross the streams.
Disgusting place.
Oh, yeah, no, I never went there for a hockey game. Never went there for a concert. It's a grocery store now, isn't it? And then
upstairs, they have a hockey rink in it.
Isn't that Ryerson? Well, I guess you can't call it Ryerson U now. It's called Toronto
Ryerson
University
College.
Has the arena
uses it. Yeah.
Telltale Signs.
Okay.
True.
Hey guys, hi Elliot.
Hey,
nice entry you did for Sam's contest.
Yeah, thank you everybody. That
was pretty cool. See Elliot with little Jimmy Dickens.
That was what was cool when I went to the Ryman over the summer. They got a statue of little Jimmy, actual size. He was a little guy. I don't
know if Elliot's really tall or little Jimmy Dickens is really little.
I think what did Elliot say? He's 6 foot
or something.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, little Jimmy Dickens is probably like 4'8" or something.
Especially when he got older.
Yeah, that was funny.
No, I've got like 22 or 23 entries already.
Every time I open YouTube every day, I see a new contest entry. So good on you, man. It's
that's what I keep looking too and going in all these heavyweights. It's like, you know.
No, I've got a playlist, a private playlist. I got 34.
Wow. And you're
you broke your 600 subs, right?
Yeah, I've gained like close to probably 40 subs.
Wow.
That's a very successful contest.
I was like a 575-ish when I started it.
Good for you.
Yeah. and they've still got a little less than a month to go.
Sam needs to record a solo effort with Jeff Tweedy.
I'd
Love
say-
Jeff.
He matched Tweedy perfectly. I was impressed with his solo serenading this week.
Well, thank
I
you.
missed that.
Yeah, Mark said I sound like Jeff Tweedy, and then I told him to turn up the volume.
One of my very good friends played with Jeff Tweedy. He was actually a member of Wilco for their first 2 albums.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I still haven't fully clicked with Wilco yet.
Yeah, I'm not a big Wilco fan either.
I like the early stuff.
Yeah,
And I like the pre-Wilco stuff, which was Uncle Tupelo.
Uncle Tupelo, but I love the
Love Uncle
Sunvolts.
Tupelo.
Are you a Sunvolt fan?
I haven't. I need to.
That's my favorite. That's way better than Wilco, I think. Sam, you'd like Sunvolt.
okay.
Yeah.
I hear about him all the time from you.
I love.
What's more Americana,
Yeah.
countryish kind of.
So there was.
rock.
I don't know if you know the history, Sam, but Uncle Tupelo was a country rock band, and then they split into Sonvolt and Wilco.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Sonvolt's still around. I think they're still
Yeah,
doing
there's still
stuff.
good albums. Yeah.
Wilco's got a little too abstract for me these days. I like the early Wilco stuff, but the Uncle Tupelo, like Anodyne and No Depression, are fantastic records.
Yeah, Wilco's kind of gone like the My Morning Jacket. route. Yeah.
I like the early stuff, like Being There and Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and then the albums they did with Billy Bragg were pretty good.
I've heard that first album at least. Yeah, I love that.
I like the Billy Bragg album. That's a good album.
Yeah, my buddy plays on that record too.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Billy Bragg's pretty cool. They were good. What was that called?
Mermaid Avenue.
Mermaid Avenue.
Yeah, Mermaid Avenue. Yeah.
There was Volume 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Hard as hell to find
Great
on
stuff.
vinyl nowadays, but
Really? I've got it on CD.
Some of those are out of like for me, the first Wilco album that I really listened to was AM, the first one. And I was like, oh, I want to buy I like this album a lot, and it's out of print. You can't find it anywhere.
Really?
Even on CD. Yeah, it's out of print.
Interesting.
Which
They
is
just
crazy.
put out a reissue of Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, like a 30th anniversary edition or whatever.
I know Mike over at Hub Tunes, that's his favorite band, and he's got a huge Wilco collection. Yeah.
Your vinyl of Vicar. My very first show I ever saw was at Maple Leaf Gardens, March 24th, 1981, Rush Moving Pictures Tour.
Nice.
My very first show at Maple Leaf Gardens was April 2nd, 1967. The Monkees.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be born for another 11 years.
Yeah, I was 14. Maybe my memories. Yeah, Martin's talking about how great Maple Leaf Gardens was. I mean, so many great shows there and such an historic venue, but didn't Bragg do a Woody Guthrie album? Yeah.
Yeah, the Mermaid Avenue.
Yeah, that's the Mermaid Avenue stuff.
The first one of those is the best of the 3, I think.
Yeah.
That's the one that has California Stars on it.
Yeah.
And Wherever Yonder in the Minor Key.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah.
If you ever find them on vinyl, grab them because they're long out of print and hard to find. And they sound fantastic on vinyl.
Really?
Really hard to find, eh?
Yeah.
I wonder
Were
how
they from the
don't-
90s? Were they 90s?
Yeah, they were 96.
Yeah, so they're
I think
gonna
something
be
like that. My buddy left Wilco in 97, so it would have been about 96.
I saw I've told this story before too, but the one time that I saw the Zombies in 2014, was that right? 2014? No, yeah, 2014. Pat Sansone opened for them solo. I don't
Nice.
remember much about him, but I remember that he opened and that he was from Wilco.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm getting asked the Zappa question. I keep seeing the Zappa cap. The Zappa Kappa.
Zappa Kappa.
Yeah. What Zappa albums are you listening to these days? I'm actually listening to the Grand Wazoo and Waka Jawaka a lot because I asked for the new box set that's coming out in December for Christmas that concentrates on those albums.
It was just the anniversary of his death a couple days ago.
Yeah.
93.
Yeah. And a lot of live stuff, the Roxy stuff, and the Erie box set that came out this year. Love Frank. One artist you all need to check out is Joe Henry. I've heard of Joe Henry, but I don't know if I've ever really that I can recognize.
Yeah, I think he mentioned that on my stream the other night.
He was surprised as he was diagnosed with cancer 2 years ago. Well, that's cool. I love how Woody didn't give a shit about the words fitting in the music. I guess it would be the meter. He just crammed them in if he needed to. Yeah.
That's why Bob did it.
Yeah. Yeah, Bob basically does the same thing, right?
Those first few albums, especially.
Yeah.
So is that the big item on your Christmas list, Glenn? That box set?
I asked for that, and I asked for. There's a King Crimson set that has the documentary in it that they just did.
Mm-hmm.
That and some CDs and stuff. I asked for that, and I asked for a Grateful Dead box set. That I think it's the Madison Square Garden shows from 90 to 93 or so. It's like 18 CDs.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Fingers crossed I'm getting that. What about you guys? Do we ask Santa for anything, or
I haven't been a good boy.
No?
No, I didn't ask for anything. My wife and I don't do presents, so we just buy for our son. So
I'm like a little freaking kid, man. I don't care if we're buying gifts for each other. There's no one can tell me they're not buying gifts.
Apparently I'm hard to buy for because all I buy is records that my wife's never.
Well, that's what I do. I give her a list. I give my wife and my kids a list of records and stuff. I say, I don't care. Get me one of them. Get me 10 of them. I'll be happy if I just open one of them.
That's me too. My family, well, especially my youngest sister, she loves giving gifts. She's always frustrated because all I ask for are like CDs or like music books.
Yeah.
And she's like, be creative with your list. I'm like, I don't want anything else. I've got a car. I'm living in this apartment. Like, I really don't want people picking out huge purchases from. Like, I would never ask for like a guitar or like an amp or something like that because I want to pick it out.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is easy. Or like, it's Christmas. Here's a box set. Just like you can all go in together if you want and do this. So like the Beach Boys, the Sail on Sailor is my big box set.
Oh, that's yeah.
But I was just gonna say, Rob mentioned Rod's contest about the 10 things you want, and one of the things I mentioned was a Rickenbacker, and I am very, very close to pulling the trigger on a 12-string.
Really?
Very close. I'm waiting till after Christmas, and because that's the issue is I'm driving a car from 2010 that has like 179,000 miles on it, and it's a good car. It's a Hyundai Elantra. Glen's been in it before, but I'm looking to maybe get another vehicle within the next year or so. And so I don't know if putting $3,000 toward a 12-string Rick would be wise.
You only live once.
And I really want that jangle.
So
sound.
I say get it. You always wrote the car.
I was never a Rick fan. As you can tell, I'm a Fender fan.
Oh, I love the Rick.
No, I like.
It's got such a unique sound, right?
It does. I like the one John Lennon played, but then when I became a Bengals fan, I fell in love with Susanna Hoffs and her Rickenbacker.
Oh yeah, and
I'd love one of those, but it's not going to happen.
I mean, the Beatles, the Byrds, Tom Petty. I mean, they're
REM,
yeah.
They have a unique sound, that's for sure.
And I think I would love to play that in my band just to get that 12, because I want the 12-string. I mean, I've got to have the 12-string.
Wow.
So I'm fighting. I've put it in my cart and then I've taken it away, and because they don't sell them.
Can you get used ones?
Nah, usually no. It's almost better to get a new one because they're cheaper.
Really?
So a lot of because the used
one. Oh, because the classic years. I can imagine.
Yeah, like they stopped making them for a little bit.
Rickenbacker or 64 or something. Can you imagine?
Yeah, you're looking at. Well, I saw one pop up because like I'll get ads now for like Rickenbacker, and one of them was on sale for like $2,500, and I was like, that's a good price.
Do they have like a Roger McGuinn model and all?
No, those are more expensive. I think McGuinn has a 6 and a 12-string, and his is like the cream color body. I want the Dan the Torpedoes. Like I want the full on like sunburst Rick 12-string. The black one would be cool, like the Lennon, but I want that sunburst, like the Byrds and Tom Petty. Wow. And I also want a Hofner bass, but I want the Rick before the Hofner because I can actually play guitar. Bass, I would have to try out again.
Did Chris Squire play a Rick bass? I don't know if he did. Yes, I'm not sure.
If I was to get a non-Hofner, I would want a Fender. A Fender.
McCartney played a Rick bass for a while, right?
He did.
Yeah, like on Magic.
Did on the Walrus.
Yeah.
And with Wings for a lot of Wings shows.
Yeah.
I like Rich's comment there. Keep the Rick. Give me Susanna Hoffs. Me first, Rich.
Oh, look at that. Since Glen believes you only live once, he should buy your. No, I only live once for me. Sam lives once for him. I don't only live once for Sam.
Well, we're one unit, Glenn. We're a band.
Yeah.
So come on now.
Yeah,
You're
no.
investing into the band.
So okay, so if you buy this
Just
guitar,
do what I
then
do.
can
Get a
use it for
job that
tax
gives you a
write-off,
company car, and then you don't have to worry about it.
True. Yeah.
Is the Cosmic Torpedoes a business? We could use it as a tax
You
write-off.
could write that off as a tax write-off.
We could do a an LLC and get into Ticketmaster and all that stuff. When we play the
Martin
coffee
says he
shop.
wants to talk about my live album piece. Do you want to talk about it, Martin? Is there something you want to ask about live albums or something? I actually did, that was my last video was live albums.
Yeah, I think he's just saying
It got a lot of attention. I was surprised.
Remember the last time we did live albums on our live stream, we had someone on there that listed every live album that was ever recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy a band van, guys. Yo, that'd be something.
Glenn's the one with the bigger car, so we'll take his.
Yeah. But this may be your only opportunity, Glen. To buy Sam a guitar?
Or a car.
He can buy me one on one. New resolution.
I don't know. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. Yeah.
Do you have any guitars on your wish list, Rob, that you're looking at? Not necessarily a Grail, but like a guitar that you're actually considering.
There's sort of. I've built a lot of my guitars. Like some of those, like this one right there, I built, and that walnut telly I built. Yep. There's another build that's in the works right now, actually. You probably can't. Maybe you can see it. That black, Telecaster 72 Telecaster Deluxe I built. And I love it, and I absolutely love it. Probably my favorite guitar. So
now, when you say you built a guitar, are you talking about buying a kit and putting it together? Or are you talking about actually making, like you've got wooden machinery and you're making a neck and a body?
I'm in the commercial woodworking industry, so I could, and I have the knowledge to do it. And I probably have access to shop facilities, but I don't, just because I don't have the time. So I'll buy the body, I'll buy the neck, and they're unfinished. Like they just look like wood. Yeah. And I'll stain them and lacquer them and clear coat them and buff them and do all that kind of thing. And they all have my own logo on the headstock. Looks like a Fender logo, but it's actually my logo. And then I do all the electronics and the wiring. So it's not right from scratch, but it's close. So there's another 72 Deluxe coming that is being painted right now. It's going to be white. And instead of having the wide range humbuckers that normally come in the 72 Deluxe, I'm actually putting filtertrons in there, which you'd normally see in something like a Gretsch. So it's going to be an interesting 72 Deluxe telly. So I'm hoping by January that'll be done, and I have a spot on my wall reserved for it. So
now, is there like a some kind of, like, I remember years ago when I saw instrument kits, it was like Stuart McDonald was a big
and they still do.
Is that the kind of place you go to, like that kind of
no, because the quality on those is kind of shit. There's a company in Washington State, Puyallup, Washington. It's called Warmoth Guitars. They make the most high-end bodies and necks. They're better than anything that Fender or Gibson would put out.
Really? What kind of wood do they use now?
Whatever you want.
Really? Even there was a lot of guitars were made, like a lot of maple and
so if we're talking Fender, if it's painted a solid color, it's probably ash, or alder. The ones that are clear coated usually are like a flame maple. Necks are usually maple, but what I like about Warmoth is you can buy out of their sort of pre-made stuff, or you can get it totally made from scratch. So this Jazzmaster that I have here, that neck was something that I had them build from scratch for me. So it's actually a kiln dried, what they call roasted maple neck. And then it's got a rosewood fretboard on it, and it's got Instead of dots, it's got block inlays that are like a pearl. That it's not something you can buy stock out of their showroom. So I said, I want this, this, and this. Build it for me. And then it was raw, and then I lacquered it and put my logo on it. And
That's
now,
pretty cool.
Are they just for you, or do you have people that ask you to put one together for them?
I have had people ask me, and I've only ever done it once. My buddy that was the guitarist for Blue Rodeo asked me to do one for him, and I did, and he still has it, and he still plays it, and it is on a Blue Rodeo record. And actually, that black one is on a Blue Rodeo record as well, though I'm not entirely sure which song. It's on the Thousand Arms album. But anyway, he asked me to do one for him, and I did because he owned a guitar shop, and I did it for him, and he paid me in trade, so I got a lot of expensive stuff for doing it for him.
Oh, cool.
But I've had people ask, and I just go, nah, because it's really time consuming, and I'm too busy playing with my son. So it's, it might take me 6 months to do a guitar that in reality should only take a month, so.
We're getting a Dylan question here, Sam.
Okay. Dylan Thomas.
Can you guys talk about hi, Joe. Can you guys talk about the Bob Dylan song, Changing of the Guard? I don't know how much I can talk about that song. I'm trying to think. What album's that on?
Street Legal, right?
Street Legal. Okay.
Like, what do you want us to talk about?
I don't know. Is it a song you're? I'm not. I can't. I haven't listened to Street Legal for a long time. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's like 16 years, 16 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's got the background singers. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorites on Street Legal. 16 banners united over the field.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good song. It's an underrated Dylan album. I love that album. Gets crapped on. It's the album just before his gospel trilogy.
I like Street Legal, and I saw Dylan on that tour too, which is one of the.
Ooh, that would have been a great
crapped on too.
That's a great vocal period for Dylan.
Yeah.
From like 75 until like 81, 82. Yeah.
That was a question about Joe Henry. Do you know he's doing his cancer diagnosis? Greg played it. Is that a friend of yours, Rob? Is he talking about
No,
Greg?
it wasn't Greg. It was Bob Egan.
Oh. And Keeler, no.
Greg Keeler's one of the singer-songwriters in Blue Rodeo.
Street Legal, I think it's an underrated Dylan album.
It's probably because it's shorter in terms of it's only like 8 tracks or something.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just picked up the new Humble Pie box set. Yeah, that's it sounds good, eh? Because I was thinking about that too. I wouldn't mind. I'd like to get it on vinyl.
Didn't Larry get that just now?
Yeah, Larry just got the CD set. John, how you doing, buddy?
Thank you,
you
John.
walking?
I appreciate it.
Sam, I'm preparing a video for your contest. Should be out in a week or so.
Yeah,
wow, this is going to be some good video. Taking a week.
I bet he's walking when he's doing it.
He's producing it.
I have like 3. I've got him doing one. I've got JT is working on one. I think Adam at What the Gym. They've all got them coming out like a week from now. Just make sure you tell me that they're out because I want to be sure to get everybody. And
anybody who enters a contest, make sure you go to the video of the contest and underneath it, make a comment that, hey, I've uploaded a video for your contest.
Because there are some that I've just caught because, obviously I'm not subscribed to everybody that's made a contest entry.
It's really hard to see them all if you don't
comment. Yeah, you can't really be held accountable. So let me know, please, John. But I know you will.
Oh, here we go. Mark, Joe Henry's health is becoming a big topic for tonight. It's better in the new album. And I couldn't name a Joe Henry song.
He was the steel driving guy in West Virginia, wasn't he?
John Henry.
Wow, it's 10 over. Well, we're 1 minute over our 2-hour period.
Oh, we're done.
But there's more people watching now than there was through the whole.
That's what happened when I was on my when I was playing guitar the other night. It was because I try to stop playing guitar here at 10, as Glen knows. When the Cosmic Torpedoes play, if you see a video, it's before 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I was winding down, and I had like 4 or 5 people jump on at the end that weren't there before. So I stretched it out a couple extra minutes.
John is not walking in your video.
He's crawling.
Yeah.
It's not the same if John's not walking.
Yes, he will let anybody know.
Yeah, I know you will.
Anyone pick up the new Dylan book? No,
That's
I
on my Christmas list.
am not. I don't know. I've read a couple excerpts, and I just think he's rambling on like an idiot. And
Is that the one signed with the auto pen?
yeah, some people think it's just genius, and I'm going, I don't like really like these just.
But I've heard it sounds pretty good.
I don't know. I don't know if I have the mental ability to comprehend what he's saying in some of it. It's weird Dylan talk. But I'll end up buying it though. I know I will. Just because I got it, because it's Bob.
Yeah, after like February or so, it'll drop $20.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm waiting to see it in the used bookstore.
Get it for Valentine's Day from Lynn.
Yeah. There's what's it called? Well, it's in Canada and US. In Canada, it's called bookoutlet.ca, and in US, bookoutlet.com. Go on there, just
heard of
music in the search thing. If you like reading music biographies, there's a ton of them there, and they're all really cheap.
Huh.
Yeah, you can. I bought a ton of great biographies on there for like $6.
Thank you, Mark.
What did Mark say? Thanks, guys. Enjoy your music and talk. Thanks, Mark, so much.
Thanks, Mark.
I'll read it for you, Glenn. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. And then let me know if there's anything I'm missing.
John could read a chapter every day while he's out walking. It'd be like an audio book.
Yeah, we could read it for I wonder if you'd get a
heavy breathing.
I wonder if you'd get a copyright claim against you for reading the book.
Just read it backwards.
Humble Pie 2 immediate and 2 a.m. I don't know. I didn't get it. Excuse me. Okay. Hey, so here we go.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, it's March. It's an incredible album.
It's incredible.
So good.
And actually, I'm wearing my Marty shirt.
Yeah. Is Marty got a new album coming out? Because he's touring.
He does, yeah. He him and the Superlatives. It's gonna be the follow up to this one, which is already 6 years. It'll be 7 years old next year.
That's a fantastic record. Way Out West.
Yeah, because they released that song "Country Boy," which is really cool.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
So it should be out. I think they said early next year. He kind of confirmed.
Bob actually reads the book on Audible. I hear it's he just reads certain parts, and
yeah, it's like Jeff Bridges does some, and like Fiona Apple.
Yeah, like David Grohl reads a couple of.
David Grohl does it.
Dave can do anything,
but he does it as Bob Dylan. He does an impression.
Yeah.
Look who shows up.
There he is,
Randall Nelson. Yeah, figures you'd show up when we're ready to say goodnight, Randy.
It's like reading the end of the book, Randy. It doesn't count.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out. Where were you when we needed you?
He just came for the encore.
Yeah.
Well, got news for you, Randy.
That's like walking into a Springsteen show and just hearing Ramrod. You missed the whole show. Yeah, I guess that's about it, boys.
Yeah, it was a good one.
It was good. Appreciate everybody who joined in. And if you came in late, it'll be up under the live, what do you call it, little subheadings at the top of your videos. Just click on live. They're all there. And we'll hope
how many people did we have watching? How many people did we have watching tonight?
I think about 16 were like the most at one time. But hey, people will get used to it.
But I'll probably say 25 or so came in and out.
25 or 30. Yeah, so that's cool. And people usually you end up with about a lot of people watch them later, and so you get like 300 views or something by the time. It rolls around. So so I don't know what you guys are up to the rest of the week.
Working.
I've got work. Band, getting ready for Christmas. Just all sorts of Christmas activities happening.
Yeah,
that gear up period.
I got so much to do. If I can get this cold, really knock me back for like a week.
Every weekend is booked for me.
Man,
I'm going to shoot my first ever product review video. I got sent something that someone has asked me to review.
Really, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm going to be shooting that this week. So it should be up by the end of the week, hopefully.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I wish some.
Yeah, it was kind of cool
to review. Right? Yeah.
they said, "Would you be interested in me sending you something and you doing a video?" I'm like, "Sure, why not? Send me whatever."
Yeah. Well, don't say whatever, man.
Fair
I
enough.
don't even want to talk about what you. What
I don't want like an inflatable pink elephant.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't need to see your bare ass on.
Hey, listen, you're the one that got naked to do a video.
Oh, that's true.
No.
Scheduled Tuesday nights is a great idea. Yes, please join us every Tuesday. Thanks, Christopher.
Thank you.
Sorry I got on so late. Next time. For now, I'm going for a walk with my Dylan buck. There we go. Get one of those bands with the light on it.
Yeah, like those flashes.
Or in true Dylan fashion, light a cigarette and use that as the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been under the weather, Sam, but I will be making a video.
I have
You're
no
not the only
doubt,
one,
Randy. I appreciate it.
Wow.
I know you will.
Yeah.
I think if I ever do a contest again, I'm going to preface the contest by saying I'm Sam's friend, because all the people that did your
Sponsored
contest,
by Sam St. John. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's right.
And
Yeah.
association.
Endorsed by Sam.
What is Rob's channel?
Northern
Revolutions.
Revolution.
It's right there. Northern Revolutions. Please subscribe to Sam St. John and Northern Revolutions. Please subscribe to Rob's channel. He's got a great channel.
Thank you.
And everybody, please enter my contest.
And everybody enter Sam's contest. And and come back next Tuesday.
Thank you,
that
Glenn.
note,
Appreciate it, everybody.
good night.
Thanks, everybody.
See you, Rob. Everybody, take care.
See you guys. That was fun.